Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. Welcome to the Peachscore March 2025 Demo Day. We'll be recording this session to be shared with our ecosystem partners, investors, and corporations. My name is Payman Shamirzadi. I'm the COO and the head of Accelerator at Peachscore, and your host for today. We have a great demo day planned for you today. After a few more opening remarks by me, we'll have a great panel discussion on growth hacking in 2025 and how to thrive in a challenging economy. We will then present our partner award, followed by partnership announcements and our Q1 startup award. We then have an amazing group of 15 startups that will pitch their innovative companies for you. To begin, I'd like to thank our amazing strategic anchor partners that have been instrumental in the evolution of Peachscore. Notably, Plug and Play, known as the most active investor and accelerator in the world with 250 investments per year, and I believe they're up to around 30 unicorns as part of that investment portfolio. Plug and Play has been with us since the beginning of our company as our major shareholder. Also, much thanks to Dealum, a global platform for streamlining angel investing by providing tools for investor groups to manage deal flow, collaborate on startup evaluations, and track investment activities. We'll be sharing more on this partnership later in the session. I also like to thank our strategic partner, Loyola Marymount University, and the Fred Keisner Center for Entrepreneurship in particular. LMU is ranked among the top entrepreneurship centers in the U.S., and as part of our collaboration with LMU, all of our graduates of our accelerator received their graduation certificate with LMU signature endorsement on it. Our next amazing partner is Los Alamos National Lab. They're the leading U.S. national laboratory pioneering research in AI, national security, plutonium, and more. The lab provides non-dilutive grants for a few $100,000 in different industries, and we hope to see some of our cohort members also joining their program. Also, our thanks to Ignite, a leader in go-to-market strategy and growth acceleration for B2B tech startups. And we are No Code, an online institute for aspiring non-technical founders to launch their next ventures using no-code tools and AI. We also have two new partnerships that we're quite excited about, namely with HubSpot and Carta. Both are incredible enterprises with focused support for startup ecosystem. We'll share more on these new partnerships later in the session as well. Thank you again to our great partners for the support and collaboration, as well as the others not listed for their continued support. Since our inception, and I have to say, I love how this list continues to grow with amazing companies collaborating with us in our partnership circle. Excuse me a second. There we go. Okay. A little about the incredible program that we built for supporting startups. Our program is built on 4 core pillars to enrich, elevate, engage, and empower startups. It is designed to support founders in a completely virtual format without requiring equity or warrants, and it's almost free of charge. This encompasses a 12-week data-driven accelerator program built on top of a proprietary technology combined with human expertise to provide an unfair advantage to our portfolio companies in this very dynamic market we're in right now. Through Peachscore, not only founders benefit from educational content, but also they can leverage our technology and platform to benchmark their companies against 600,000 other companies in the market, receiving business and market intelligence and access $2 million in perks from amazing service providers in the ecosystem. Our companies have access over 500 hours of group office hours for mentorship annually. This is frankly industry leading. The cohort members benefit from detailed pitch reviews in addition to live pitch practice sessions and workshop sessions and networking events on an ongoing basis. Our alumni gain investment opportunities from our angel group and extensive investor ecosystem as well. Truly, this is the best combination of technology and human expertise for supporting founders. Now, we started our Accelerator program aiming to have a global impact in supporting founders, and I'm happy to share that we now have over 700 startups across our cohorts and growing daily. They're joining us from 74 countries from around the globe. Combined, they've raised over $119 million. And we're quite proud to say that our portfolio of companies has a diversity ratio of 25% with female and minority founders. And through our program, our founders have watched over 8,000 hours of educational content from top executives and experts from investment, corporate, and government agencies. And now It's time for our amazing panel on growth hacking in 2025, how to thrive in a challenging economy. I'd like to bring Alex Mostari, founder and CEO of Peachscore, who will also be moderating our panel discussion, as well as also invite the rest of our panelists to join Alex on stage now. Let me go ahead and stop sharing.
Thank you, Payman.
Thank you. And I'm going to go off camera.
Just want to make sure that we have everyone on the panel today. David, I can see Dr. Troy, Ryan, Seren, and Puria. Okay.
Yes,
Puria.
I am here as well.
Okay, hi, Seren.
Hi, everyone. I'm black for some reason. My troubleshooting as we speak.
Right. So maybe we can start. I don't see Puria on the call from Think Plus Ventures. But we can start. And good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm thrilled to welcome you to our panel discussion today on a startup growth hacking in 2025 and thriving a challenging economy with limited capital access. So as many of you might know, at least over the last 2 years, startup founders are facing more constrained funding market and increased pressure to generate revenue early. Despite these challenges, many are finding innovative ways to scale, acquire customers, and build sustainable business to raise funding faster, especially considering that investor expectations have shifted compared to just a few years ago. Some are even continuing to build their companies without relying heavily on venture capital. So that's why we chose this topic today to dive deeper into growth hacking strategies that can help founders navigate today's economy, assesses the current state of fundraising market, and explore creative ways to achieve sustainable growth. So we have an exceptional lineup of panelists today, each bringing a wealth of knowledge and unique perspectives to this important topic. Before we begin our discussion today, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our amazing panelists. And let us start with brief introductions. And please share a bit more about your current activities and how you have been involved within the startup ecosystem. From my screen, let's start with Dr. Choi, if you want to go first.
Sure. Thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Payman, for having me. My name is David Choi. I'm a professor at Loyola Marymount University. A few years ago, they gave me a very fancy title. I'm the Hilton Chair of Entrepreneurship. I'm also the director of the Fred Kiesner Center for Entrepreneurship. I've been teaching at LMU for 22 years. We've had a lot of success with our students. We're one of the top-rated programs in the country, top 12 according to U.S. News. And I think Payman mentioned the word unicorn. We've had a few unicorns coming out of LMU, thanks to our great students. But we're proud of all our graduates who've done well over the years, whether they're on small companies, social enterprises, or even work as leaders in corporations. So that's my introduction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ryan, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Alex, and thanks, Payman. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan O'Connor. I've been with Carta for about 3 years now. I lead our early stage investor partnerships. So I work with a lot of venture capital firms, accelerators, venture studios, and the like, all in service of making your jobs as founders a little bit easier in navigating the startup ecosystem. Prior to joining Carta, I was at DoorDash for about 3 years, helping them grow out their white label delivery platform called DoorDash Drive. I've been in a variety of roles in the business development and partnerships at various stages. Prior to that, more so on the early stage side. I've advised a lot of startups, have invested as an angel in a number of others, and yeah, excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan. So on my screen, Sarah, you are the next.
Yay, I'm finally upright. Hi, thank you. And hi, everyone. I'm Seren Rumjantsevs, and I'm the CEO of Dealum. And as already Payman already introduced, we are the platform for angel investors, and the startups very often kind of come across us when they apply for funding in both in angel groups. We also have some accelerators on the platform, some micro VCs. So you might have come upon us before. And our community is growing really nicely. We have already now 105,000 startups on the platform, so it's quite a big volume. And we see this kind of, to say, daily deal flow, how it's going. We see the trends on how the fundraising environment works and so on. So those are the kind of insights that I can share as well, if it comes up in a discussion. But as professionally, I'm basically kind of on the background of entrepreneurship since after university, which was a long time ago. So I've been working in a science park with incubation programs, with accelerators. I also run my own startup. So basically I kind of come to a full circle now. So all sides of the capital table, from startups to government to actual capital. So happy to be here and looking forward to this discussion today. Thank you.
Thank you, Seven. Puriya, you're the last one.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. My name is Puriya. I am a venture partner at Think Plus, which is an early stage fund. We've done about 60 investments. I was there since the inception of Fund 2. Now we're in our Fund 1, and now we're in our Fund 2. We do mostly consumer and enterprise. Check size 3 to 500K initially, and 5 to 700 in follow-on rounds. We've had 4 unicorns, 1 IPO. But I also I was and am one of the early product managers for Walmart Plus, which is an e-com membership for Walmart. And I saw it grow from 0 users to double-digit million. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Puriya. So now that look, we have done with the introductions, so I want to just start with this, that since 2022, raising capital for early stage startups has become much harder. Major startup banks like Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank collapsed, and many LPs face liquidity assets issues, like liquidity issues, reducing their commitments. It seems based on the data to venture funds. Global venture funding dropped over 35% from 21 to 22, and then another 32% decline from 22 to 23. Even with a small 3% recovery last year, the total decline is now 54%. Correct me if the recovery change or the numbers improve. But many much less funding is available for startups. With fewer investment dollars, competition has increased, and investors has also changed their criteria. They now focus more on startups generating revenue early. It is kind of similar to mortgage industry back in 2007. Getting a loan was easy, probably with a kind of driving license or ID. You could get mortgage from the banks, but today you need to extensive documentations to qualify. So given these changes, how do you see the future of fundraising? Will we eventually return to 2019 investment standards? Or is this a new normal? I mean, what are your thoughts? We can start with David if you want to share your thoughts.
Maybe because I'm old, I've seen cycles, right? I've seen the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and they go up and down, and luckily they eventually come back. What's kind of interesting right now is some of the hottest companies, of course, looks like their valuation hasn't gone down at all, and they're raising money. Some of the bigger ones, Series B, Series C. What's of course been much harder are the new companies, right? So I think it's been much harder. You got to find a way to sort of play by the new rules. You mentioned revenue. Maybe some companies do need to get some revenue somehow, or build companies that can generate revenue. And then joining any of these good accelerators like this one and others, I think that seems to still help a lot of companies. So let me just stop there and let the other folks pitch in.
Definitely. Sarah, you want to share because you got Sarah, you have probably over 25,000 investors in your ecosystem. So, how do you see that you could, probably you have seen you're seeing a lot of activities on your end. How do you see the market?
Well, we actually just see the statistics on the specifically on the US data or North American data, and yes, there was a super steep decline from 22 to 23. But on the positive side, it is recovering. So from the investments that are made through our platform, it looks like the investment activity is going up again. Looks like the investors are willing to open their wallets a bit more. So I think it might be kind of turning back on that side. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But at least the 24 was definitely much better than 23 on our platform, and we've seen that specifically. I think that kind of down kind of capital drain or the situation with the capital was also really demotivating startups, perhaps. And we've seen that especially in the last quarter of the last year, the startup activity has increased significantly. It looks not completely sure if it's because they are completely out of money by now, or because they see things in positive light, and it's worth again to apply for capital, but it's definitely kind of, we see much more activation on the platform, and we hope that means that the recovery is on the way.
Amazing. Roy, what about Carta? What about you? Because I know that tens of thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands of people following Cartas, especially like the posts about the data and how the industry is changing over time. So, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like a couple of statistics to help like ground some of the information we might be talking about here. Carta services around 55,000 startups, whether they're extremely early stage all the way through kind of growth and late stage. And so you can kind of think about that as our data set here. One of the things Alex alluded to is that our head of insights, Peter Walker, who I hate giving the plug for him, but is a great follow on LinkedIn. He's emerged as a little LinkedIn celebrity. It might be getting to his head a little bit, so I want to ground him there. But he's really opened up Carta's data set, and he releases a number of reports on a quarterly or a biannual basis. One of which is the State of Private Markets report. I think he just released one on the 2024 look back, and specifically deep diving into the Q4 of 2024. I think, if you remove, 2021 from the equation, we're actually finding ourselves in a very similar environment to 2019. I think 2021 was that outlier, that aberration where, valuations went out the window. There was just an immense amount of capital being raised from GPs, from LPs to GPs, and a lot of capital being allocated. I think the fundraising environment right now is a little bit different, and I would actually argue is a little bit different fundamentally from 2019. Very statistically similar in the number of rounds happening and the dollars being raised by startups. But a few high level statistics and kind of something that we took away was it's a bit of a tale of two markets, I would say. From the heights of 2021, you didn't see as much of an impact at the earlier stage as the market went down in 2022, 2023. What we're seeing was like a massive impact to growth stage and late stage companies having, to right size valuations, significant down rounds, really just a tough time to fundraise. In the last year, what we actually saw was a bit more of an impact to the earlier stage. I think things settled in the growth and later stage, and we saw, I would say at the early stage, seed stage startups raised around 12.5% less capital in 2024 than they did in 2023. Series A decreased around 6.7%. Not like significant declines, but what we found curious was the recovery at the middle and late stage. So Series B capital invested rose by 17.3%. Series C had a pretty significant increase of 41.8%. So I think there's this like looming opening up of this IPO window that is starting to, I guess, encourage investors to reinvest in those growth and late stage rounds.
No, that was great. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights. Puri, what about you and Think Plus? I know that you have multiple hats. You mentioned that you are part of Walmart innovation team and also kind of like venture partner at Think Plus. So did your kind of criteria change from 2019 to today, like when you're looking into the kind of new investments?
Yeah, we've certainly gone more selective. I think everyone on the panel did touch on some of the things I wanted to say that, this is a cyclical business. It will come back in some areas. It has already come back. We're seeing, in some sectors, fewer deals, much bigger round sizes, but now things are just coming back. So I think as an entrepreneur, the focus should be where we are in the cycle and how you should position yourself in terms of what investors are looking, how they're becoming more selective in terms of capital efficiencies, how much runway you have, how much you're raising, and what sort of runway that gives you. So yes, I do think it's coming back. I am seeing a ton more deals. I think with the advent of AI and generative AI, we're just seeing a lot more companies that are both Me Too's, but also we're just seeing a lot more companies with fewer people that have done more just because they could, build, and market and do SEO optimization, et cetera, et cetera. So we've become also more selective because we're just seeing so many deals that are a lot similar in nature. So we're becoming more selective in terms of capital efficiency, but we're also becoming more selective in terms of how do you build a moat and a defensible, durable model, because we've probably have seen 10 times or 10 other companies that are doing Gen AI for X and Y and Z. So that's kind of like what I could add.
No, that seems that is a good news for companies in 2025. So it seems there's going to be more funding and get back to its speed. My follow-up question is if you look at the industry, it seems that founders now also dealing with another challenge, especially those targeting large corporations with enterprise solutions, which it seems that it slowed down in corporate innovation somehow during economy uncertainty. And from my conversations with some of the executives from large corporations, it seems that I have noticed that when the economy is under the pressure, companies, large corporates become more cautious. That means they reduce the R&D budget, delay piloting new tools, and shift their focus from innovation to sustaining the existing revenue streams rather than exploring new partnerships. Especially with the startups, because they are not, they're early, and the risk of a collaboration with them is pretty high. So for startups, this means securing corporate partnership to drive growth and revenue is much harder. Not only do they face higher expectations, maybe from investors, but they also encounter longer sales cycles and greater difficulties in closing deals with large companies. So, in your opinion, how can founders navigate these challenges? And actually, if this is happening or not, in your opinion, at the moment in the market, and how they can successfully overcome these barriers? David, you want to go first?
Oh,
Or anyone that David?
Sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say it would be great to hear from Poria, just given I think
Oh,
he
yeah.
went last this time,
Oh,
and he's
sure.
probably
Yeah,
the
we
most
we
relevant.
can
Yeah.
suggest. Sure. Puri, you want to go first?
sure, sure. I'm happy to. Look, one of the things I think it's important to realize with partnerships, especially with big corporation, I mean, being at Walmart, we're Fortune 1, with 2 million plus employees. Um, I think there are three things that entrepreneurs should really focus on or understand. One is, we're going after must-haves and not nice-to-haves. See, we have this big machine that's kind of rolling, and we're not looking for the next fancy thing to invest in or to partner with. We're always looking for basically making our own operation more efficient, and either that's gaining more revenue or cutting costs. So because of that, we're looking at must-haves and not nice-to-haves. So if you're a fancy drone company, it's amazing and you might gain a lot of market share, but it may not be suitable for us. So entrepreneurs approaching big companies, they need to understand basically what are the dilemma of that big company at a given time. That's one thing. Second thing is there has to be a lot of ROI driven conversations. I see many companies pitching to Walmart that sure, it might solve a minor, small problem, but the question really is what's the ROI for us? And that's not something that I see a lot of companies approaching us with. Third is it's very crucial to find a sponsor, or what I call it influencer mapping within big corporations. So if you're approaching a company, the thing is Walmart is so massive. You have these store operations, logistics, e-com, innovation, that you need to find the right person who experiences that problem and who's willing to sponsor you within this, big ecosystem of Walmart or any big company. It's not just let me pitch to someone who is high up there, because he or she may not be exposed to the problem that you're solving and the magnitude of impact that creates for both customer operation, or product. So those are the three things I'd say it's very critical to focus on as an entrepreneur trying to partner with startups. But what you did mention, which I want to emphasize, is in bad times, everyone's trying to cut cost and maximize revenue, and because of that, you always have these tail ends of the markets that companies are always willing to invest. For example, I know Walmart, just like any other big corporation, is trying to understand how they can leverage Gen AI, whether it's like on-device processing for their in-store operation to maximizing their funnel conversion in e-commerce. So just understanding that dynamic and kind of getting into the head of these big corporations would really help you navigate those discussions.
That was very interesting insights. Roy, you want to go to next?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would reiterate and agree with a lot of the points that Portia said. I'll take like a little bit of a different angle and kind of give my thoughts on, how you might approach it. Honestly, I think starting small is really the most important thing. I think Portia kind of alluded to it. Find that champion, that's really experiencing that problem most acutely, and really try to understand it a little bit more, and have like really interesting conversations with them, build rapport, but really be able to solve the problem that they are facing. I would say like the one thing that I see happen most is people coming in with too broad of an idea on how they might partner, and less focused on let me solve one problem at a time. And so like the old adage of crawl before you stand, before you walk, before you run, I think is probably the most important thing. It's like prove things in a stepwise function, and then you'll slowly build clout, build credibility, and be able to kind of get to the point where you want to get. Um, Understanding short-term incentives, again, in a defensive environment, you're going for cost cutting, or you're going for efficiency. So like really focus on that short-term ROI, and again work towards a little bit later. I would say structure pilots in a pretty flexible way. I think obviously a paid pilot is the goal, but at least in how I work, like I'm managing a bunch of different things, And if you can prove the value to me in a defined period of time, I'm going to be much more willing to work with you on that and say, hey, in 2 months, like just show me what you can do, and then I can take that data and then I can kind of work on your behalf again, finding me as an internal champion. But yeah, I mean, and make the process as easy as possible. I think that's where you kind of get complicated in like asking for too much or trying to loop in too many cross-functional partners. Like start small would be my recommendation.
No, thank you so much for sharing that insight. Seren, how about your experience or your observation in this topic?
Uh, I mean, I would kind of need to refer back to the fact that the value needs to be there. So if you do provide value, then you will still find those customers. Now the question is, if it's a nice to have, might be that it would be helpful for you to have a bit of a repositioning exercise, because nice to have it for one sector or for one customer type could be a must-have for another type. So really kind of taking that step back and doing that exercise all over again to see where does my product fit better if the current kind of market is not working out for me. So drones could be for Walmart, drones don't make sense, but I don't know, energy companies tracking their power lines, that could be a real value offering. So really to kind of take it back one step, do the repositioning or positioning exercise and see maybe that will help you kind of get to a better segment. And I think maybe one of the things I would also add is that when the big corporations are cutting their R&D, then that is a huge opportunity for small companies because that means that they are not putting money into this kind of experimental things. You are smaller, you are faster, you are leaner. You can do those experiments. You can actually work out those R&D products that the corporation, once they recover, would be interested in using it. And in that case, when they see already a really good product out there, they wouldn't do the R&D themselves. They would rather purchase that. So it's kind of like a preparation period for you, an window of opportunity. Of course, it's very dependent on how much capital you have. So you can't do much if you
Right.
don't have any. But still, if you are well capitalized and you have the resources or a really good idea, then I think it's worth taking.
Yeah, that's very interesting observation. And less R&D, that means more opportunities for startups, to grow faster and leverage that kind of like, there's a pros and cons of course, for everything. So David, how do you see, because I know that you have worked with probably hundreds of startups, and you're accelerating a lot of companies at LMU, and some of these companies, I'm sure that they have been a unicorn, they are growing, they're Series A, B, C, and probably working with a lot of large corporations. What is your observation today?
Along the discussions we're having right now, selling to large corporations takes real skill. And, I think, unfortunately, some people actually don't know how large corporations work. And so having a harder time selling. So I think it's useful to learn how that works, right? So, I mean, if you look at, for example, how Oracle sells or how Salesforce sells to corporations, there's a lot of lessons to learn, how they navigate through the hierarchy of a company, for example, right? So I think there's something to learn there. I'm close to my former students who run companies, and I do agree with what everybody said, which is if you can demonstrate value, and these days it's often cutting costs, right? If you can use AI to cut costs, I think companies are more willing to listen to you. So I think that often works. And then then there are companies, of course, you should target that want to spend money, right? And depending on what your business is, like I mentioned, there are some AI companies these days that got $400 million valuation and raise $100 million, and they need to spend in the next 2 years, right? And depending on the company, you may have a service that they want, right? And they could be great corporate customers. So I'll look at some of those companies. I mean, even at LMU, we're trying to partner right now with a AI well-funded company to do certain projects together. So I think there are opportunities.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now, let's consider that with the consideration of that raising money from venture capital is harder. Companies facing with longer sales cycles to collaborate or sell something to corporations. And so I think growth hacking, which is a topic today, has become an even more important topic for companies to burn less money and scale faster. So there are two questions here. First, do you think the definition of growth hacking has changed compared to 2019, like before pandemic happens? And second, what new strategies might work today? In your opinion, what growth hacking strategies or tactics no longer work? What are your thoughts? I mean, we can start from you, David, and this time, like circle back.
Sure. I'm actually really curious as to what people have to say here. When we used to teach growth hacking in school in the old days, like 5 years ago or 7 years ago, it was about using, interesting new technology, right, to uh, attract customers quickly, right, using certain marketing techniques. And then I think that hasn't been used as much. And then although that was like a very interesting new skill set 6 years ago, everybody sort of has that too these days. So it's a little bit of a product versus marketing argument. There was a time when if you knew certain new tools in marketing, you could have some advantage, right? But it seems to me that today there's so many companies that are pretty good at marketing. It's hard to go viral on social media these days. So I feel like what helps companies do well is just good products. And so the emphasis changed a little bit to having good products and then utilizing sort of old proven skills, right? So finding the right target customers and finding a way to customize or personalize, improve customer experience, and all those kind of things, right? So that's kind of what I see, but I'm really curious to what other people see.
Of course. Ryan, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not on our growth marketing team, and so I wouldn't say I'm the like best person within Carta to talk about this. But I would agree with David. I think it's very much within the context of like what investors are expecting in terms of growth, and there's less of an emphasis on that large scale growth at whatever cost, and more of an emphasis on that sustained growth at a reasonable cost. And I think that's where you go back to really focusing on your customer. I mean, I think one of the things that Henry, our CEO, has really never wavered on is that like your customer is your best friend. The more you can learn about like what they think about your product and what they want more from your product, what works, what doesn't. I think they're your biggest community, to be honest with you, and they're the most important community. And so instead of like placing an emphasis on like how can I grow and acquire new customers, it's how can I really like satisfy the needs of the current customer base that I have, such that I can, it goes back to that like guerrilla marketing tactic where it's word of mouth. It's how do I just create the best product and satisfy the needs of like the core customers to then grow beyond there. I don't think going viral is a strategy anymore. I think content marketing is really interesting, and I think you can probably use a lot of the AI tools out there to decrease costs in terms of like the generation of content. But I would go back to the nuts and bolts of growth, which is focus on your customer base first, make sure that you're building the right product for them and adding on the additional features that they really want before you really scale and overpromise things. Because like the one thing about growing too quickly is then all of a sudden your ICP is a bit more mixed, and you have all of these different stakeholders asking you for different features, and you can't really quite focus on like what the core features of your product are that you're building. And so I think that's where like that, you know, thoughtful approach to growth is really grounded in.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. Puriyo, what about you? What are the thoughts here?
Yeah, totally agree with what everything that Ryan and David mentioned. A few things I would add is one, we are seeing a lot more regulation especially in the consumer subscription area, where, if you're offering a free trial, if it's more than X number of days, the customer needs to give a direct consent. You need to send reminders before, you charge the card. So I think I am seeing a lot of regulation. I am seeing a lot more scrutiny from investors in terms of what's your CAC and how much are you spending on growth, and and it's great that you have been able to grow, your top of the funnel by X, but what does that mean in terms of your conversions? And third, what I would add on top of what everyone else said is, and I think Ryan touched on it, is I think with the advent of or with Gen AI and AI just in general, we can do a lot better targeting, both in terms of our ads, but also in terms of our SEO and in terms of our content. Right now, our ad efficiency has increased a lot, just because we just know how to target the right customer at the right time and show them the right content. And that's really mostly because of AI. And that has obviously, been, very fruitful for us, but that's kind of like what has changed since 2019 in my view.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, thank you so much. And Sarah, do you want to add anything to this?
I mean, I think there have been really important things. I really like that David's thought line of going back to the the
Right.
goodie and oldie, good old stuff, and then of course the Ryans as well. That the customer references are really a superpower. So this is something that is very often kind of underutilized, like building relationships with new customers versus building or kind of strengthening the relationships with existing customers. I have to say that we have never been into growth hacking at Dealum. We kind of always taken the approach of really focusing on the needs of that specific segment and being the best for them, and from there on, just kind of that word will go out. But of course, that depends on the industry. So in some industries, that network is much stronger, or that effect is much stronger in, for example, in consumer. But yeah, don't underestimate how much power your customers have.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And actually, my follow-up question is about customers, is about like some of the points that you, Purya and Ryan and David, you brought up. If I want to shift the gears to discuss some of these growth, hacking strategies based on what you mentioned earlier. We are in an economy where startups have less funding and tighter budgets, right? Typically, investors are against paid advertising and artificial growth boost, at least for early on, like pre-seed, idea stage, even seed round. Over the last, let's say, 4 years, organic growth and community-driven marketing. I think this is a very interesting term that I think Puri, you brought up, have gained significant popularity among founders and their investors. We have seen in the past successful kind of like examples like Tesla, Notion, maybe Figma, even maybe Carta. I mean, Royan, you can just share if that was the case for Carta in the beginning from inception phase, which leveraged such a strategy by building a strong community around their products to scale and grow faster. And what are your thoughts? Because like, how do you think stores can build a strong community around their products without breaking the bank? So, so that is a question. Maybe we can start with you, Saren, if you want to share some thoughts here.
But yeah, we definitely never broken the bank for ourselves. To kind of say that that community being super important is that the community initiative in our case actually came from our customers. That was kind of a few years ago when we hadn't really thought about it ourselves to create this kind of like structured community environment for them. When one of them asked, we have exactly the same struggles as the other customers, and we're not necessarily competing with each other all the time. We're more like looking into collaboration. So why don't you, as a kind of one central place which connects to us all, take this kind of leading role and help the customers to share their experiences, and that's how we created the community club for our customers, where they can come together, discuss specific topics, see how they solve them, and share those experiences. And that it's been, I think, really useful to have that kind of way of communicating with others, and especially when you have a more complex product, when it's difficult to set up, or might be very kind of powerful features, lots of complexity, so on. Then that kind of assistance on how did you set it up? Like you're very similar to me. How did you do it? That has been really helpful to onboard them faster and make them understand the product faster, and that reduces our costs on kind of support and help, because they help each other. And we very often do those references between the customers when we see that one of the customers, and that also helps to retain the customers. That when we see that the customer is struggling with something, then we try to refer to someone who we know have solved something similar, some kind of issue themselves, or has done some outstanding kind of way of solving that problem. So we try to connect them already kind of on the backstage as well, so that they would get their problems sorted, their issues, and they would continue using. So it's a really powerful way to keep them on the platform as well, because that complexity often comes at the cost of customers being.
Of course, very interesting kind of example. So Ryan, what about you at Carta? So how do you see, first of all, back to my question, but what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I think Carta has really always had that focus on the customer. And so that's the community we've garnered and paid attention to the most. And I would say that's the thing that our CEO focuses on the most. I think he has around like 10 to 15 customer calls a week, whether that's on the cap table management side or the fund admin side, because really that's the way that you understand the needs of the customer. In terms of my role, it's a little bit different. I like to find kind of like tangential, non-competitive partners that are experiencing and trying to solve for the exact same thing and build community that way. I think we all have like our different superpowers. And so I think in real life connection is the most important thing. And I think starting with the base of where you're living, if you can't build that community, then you're gonna struggle to build any community. But I do think like organic social media content and having like a genuine presence on LinkedIn, on X, I would say do as I say, not as I do, just because I genuinely steer away from being extremely public in that manner. But I mean, it all comes back to like building genuine connections and being able to like provide introductions to your network and ask for that in return. And so I would say community building it costs nothing if you're really smart at it, and nothing but time. And so you have to like allocate an appropriate amount of time to it and not like make that your full-time job, because it can very much spin into that, and it is a danger to kind of think that like just because I'm out in the community, I'm doing something and I'm building something. You have to allocate an appropriate amount of time to it. So yeah, I would say in real life, and then I'll always have that like online social presence and putting out thoughtful organic content would be really helpful.
Oh, very good point. So David, you want to go next?
Yeah, just quickly.
Sure.
Two quick things. One is we had an event a few months ago, and a friend of mine was a speaker. He has a $600 million company, and students asked him, "How do you generate revenue of $600 million? How do you grow that?" And then he said, "Well, we try to grow slowly, all the time." That was his answer. And then I'm just reminded of one article that my thesis advisor wrote, I think in the 80s. And the title of that HBR article was "Good Customer Service is Good Marketing." So I'll just end there.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
And you can still find the article.
Of course. So Puriya, what about Think Plus? How do you evaluate? Because I know that you guys are continuously evaluating and starts to invest. And do you really kind of care about community-driven kind of like a strategy. Let's say call it go-to-market strategy or business model of these companies might impact. How do you see this, and how do you rank or evaluate this type of kind of like?
Yeah, look, I agree with everything everyone said. I'll just add a few things. One, I mean, to answer your question, yes, we definitely do care about, go to market. We're not growth oriented investors, so we're investing, very early on. Most of the time, founders don't even have the customers. We do care about the channels in which founders are using. What's the efficiency of those channels? But what I go back on what everyone said, and I want to emphasize is it's so critical to understand your customers and your initial ICP, because that's when you know where they're spending most of the time, what they're doing, what's their psyche, how are they making decisions. And that's probably the most important and critical thing to understanding how to get your first 10, 20, 100 customers. Because it could be Reddit, it could be Instagram and TikTok, it could be, writing, generating content on LinkedIn or Medium or Substack. It just all depends on who your customers are, where they're hanging out, and what they're doing. I've seen even founders going to Reddit uh, communities and just writing things in comments, or going to like Quora, um, writing a question, logging to another account, answering the question incorrectly, because what they've noticed is people are more inclined to correct others than to actually answer the question. So when they go there, they, create a prompt, go answer it incorrectly, and they realize that there's so many people correcting the answer, which
Yes.
means that, they're getting so, but I think none of that really works unless you truly understand who your customers are, and what their psyche is, when they're making decision to, take your product. But just wanted to add that on to everything everyone said.
No, that was very interesting. Actually, I have a follow-up question. Like we can start with you, Puriya. So how do you see AI? Because we didn't discuss, you mentioned, I think you or Ryan mentioned about AI solutions for from marketing to, I don't know, growth hacking strategies, from content creation to video creation, from customer acquisition to customer retention. So how do you see that? The
Yeah,
role of AI in this?
we're seeing a lot of, for example, like AI tools that do experiments. For example, and this really comes down to optimization. For example, if I show you banner X and banner Y, and I change the content or the color schema or even the location of the button, and then kind of I want to run an experiment, now it might, or previously it might have taken us weeks to say, well, what variation should we test against each other, and what sort of point of optimization should we look for that makes us, we should change our design or content, or when we show the banner, what we show. And right now, I'm just seeing a lot of AI tools that just allows us to do that, on the background. So we just basically specify, I want to check this part of my banner, and see for customers that come to our homepage and search for tires or search for home appliances, what sort of messaging resonates with them, or what sort of color and what location, what steps makes most sense to them and gives me the most, the highest conversion. I could do most of that with AI, both from the content generation, image generation, to even optimization of where my button should look like. But those are coming down to mostly optimization. What I would most focus on, which I think that's your core audience here, is like entrepreneurs who may not even have customers. The key is just finding that product market fit and not focusing too much on growth hacking, because that could give you the illusion of product market fit. Whereas, just focusing on organic channels that gets you the customers early on is by far the most important thing that entrepreneurs early on can and should do.
Having said that, Puriya, what's that tool you're using?
We're using OmniMonk. Like
OmniMonk?
that's one of the, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
So David, you want to just continue on this topic now that you brought up that question?
Oh, I would actually just agree with what Puriya said, which is, there are a lot of really good AI tools, right? And we try to use a lot of those. But for example, I don't know if you've come across a tool called, and I'm not advertising, promoting at all, something called Clay is really good for sales and business development. I think the point being there's so many good tools out there for that helps the sales process that some of the companies might want to use.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sarah, what about you? I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you
Yeah,
have
I
any
think
thoughts on this
AI,
topic?
yeah, AI tools definitely have their place on like various fields. The just need to find the suitable ones and see how you can utilize them and when you're looking at these kind of early stage companies and especially when they're still kind of building relationships with customers and trying to kind of show off their expertise and their kind of positioning on the market in general, then I think I would also say that the AI can be really helpful in kind of polishing everything we have to say. But sometimes it's also worth keeping that genuine kind of tone and then genuine thoughts. And I think that really stands out when you see somebody has written their own thoughts in their own words. And you can, yeah, definitely, absolutely. I always use AI to polish up, or AI is super helpful in writing like negative customer feedback responses in a polite and very kind of considerate way. So those are the use cases where you should use it, but also keep your essence in what you do with those tools.
That makes sense. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Ryan, what about you? Like, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Carta leverages I would say more so in like a human in the loop environment, all with the purpose of like optimizing and delivering the best customer experience. And so we have a lot of fund administration clients, you have a lot of cap table customers. Like how can you consolidate like all of the actions and the notes from that in a way that like a human in the loop can look at it and have it consolidated in a way that they might actually forget or lose it. In a different way. We do ingestion and document reading and stuff like that. And so I wouldn't say we've been like on the pioneering front in that, but probably for a reason. I mean, I think it all depends on the state of your company, right? If you're at the point where you need to really put the like, pedal or your foot on the pedal, like an AI SDR company is really interesting. If you're training up an SDR team pretty quickly, there's a really cool company called Hyperbound that can kind of train. There's like all sorts of really amazing tools, but I think you just have to figure out like when to leverage them and when it makes sense. Would agree with everyone else in saying like you should just have those conversations yourself. There's a lot that gets lost, I would say, in those AI tools, but like use them to remember, their kids' names and their
Yeah.
birthdays or any like little elements that you can kind of capture that makes it like a little bit more personalized.
No, that completely makes sense. And we can discuss about this for hours, but I got a message from Paymon that I have to finish it, wrap it up fast, so we don't stay behind the timeline. But before we finish, I would love to ask you to share your final thoughts. Any recommendation that you have for founders to navigate these challenges, especially given this shift. What kind of key mental framework or strategies do you recommend to founders to continue pushing forward with their dreams in 2025? And we can start with Puriya if you want.
Sure.
Share your final thoughts.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to what I said earlier is that just understanding where we are in the cycle and positioning yourself for success is critical. But I wrote a post a few months ago with a few students I have at Stanford that I'm mentoring on 10 pitfalls that startups or mistakes that startups make. And I could refer folks to read that article on my Medium. But a few things I'd say is understanding that early on distribution doesn't buy you engagement, so distribution at all costs is not helpful. Understanding how not to overestimate your market size just because you read a BCG article that said X number of people are facing Y problem. Understanding really the causes behind the problem you're solving and the kind of like all the touch points and being able to distinguish between your buyers and users and different persona that touches your product. And then lastly is really understanding what it would take to build a category defining venture scalable business within that market and kind of working backward. I do see so many companies, honestly, like I would say on a daily basis, that I say it's an interesting idea, but it's such a niche market. It's an interesting idea, but it's just so hard to build a venture scalable business. And look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with building a cash flow positive business, but you just have to understand what makes a VC model work and what we're looking for, because we're not looking to invest 500K and then double the money. We're looking to invest 500K and 100x the money, and that's the kind of models we're looking for. And if you are pitching to VCs or you're pitching to us, it's just important to understand that's what we're looking for. And then you have to be able to kind of have a path that says, look, this is how we're going to get to 100 million ARR. So those are the final things I'd say.
Thank you so much, Puya, for sharing all this. So, Sarah, you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the kind of biggest, the most important things is that everything that is difficult and all these kind of ups and especially downs are much more easier to tolerate when you love what you do. So just the kind of believing in your product and believing that it is improving someone's lives or someone's processes or making a difference to someone. That is kind of the mental mindset that will help you go through a lot of like hard times, and surrounding yourself with the team who has the same mindset and who are all kind of who all believe in your product, then that also makes it so much easier. So I would say just believing in yourself, believing in your product, and knowing that it will get better, even if it is tough times now, and then just keep that positive and just work your ass off. Pardon.
Very good advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. Ryan, you want to go and share your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough because whatever I've said, I think kind of always rings true. I think being passionate about what you do is extremely important. So don't start a company just for making money. Start a company because you really want to and you want to solve a problem. It's one of the top things that VCs are actually looking for and evaluating you on. I guess provide like an alternative perspective to Poria and say that like venture capital isn't the only route that you have to go. Like bootstrapping, I mean, if you're doing anything scientific, there's tons of grants out there. If you can generate revenue early on, like I'm hearing more and more about like VCs actually emerge that are investing in what's almost like a PE level business where it's like, hey, you've built something that's generating cash. Like that's great. We're not expecting these like crazy levels of returns, but we do want a certain percentage of your business. And so I would say there's like no one size fits all on that. Like VC is a great avenue for a certain type of business, but it's not the only avenue.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so be mindful of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing that. David, you are the last.
Okay, yeah, I would say don't give up early just because 10 investors said no, right? You can learn from it. You can keep developing your product. And I have a student right now, former student, who was able to raise about $10 million in funding through a couple rounds, and he had to talk to 400 investors, right? And resilience is not just about being tough or being rugged. It's about being able to relax, sometimes make fun of yourself, prayer, meditation, having good friends, right? I think those actually help build resilience. I think a glass of beer also sometimes helps. And then also, I think Serena mentioned a mindset, but recognizing that we live in very unprecedented times, right? In human history. If you think about millions of years of human history, and the idea that we can dream and pursue our goals, that just happened last couple hundred years. So just understanding that we're very lucky, and the fact that we can pursue our dreams is I mean, we've already sort of won, in many ways. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much, David, for sharing your final thoughts. Again, thank you so much, David, Ryan, Seren, Purian, rest of the people on the call, for you guys, especially sharing your thoughts with everyone today. We hope to have you again as part of our future panel discussions. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alex, and our
Thank you,
panelists. I
Pam.
really appreciate it. David, if I can have you stay with us, I would really appreciate it. And we can have Jason as well. So we're going to move on to the next segment, which is our partnership awards. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. And here we go. So, and Thomasina, let me have you come back later. Thank you. Jason, if you can join us, I really appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you again, panelists. Amazing conversation. Now, it's a privilege to present our partner award to our strategic partner, Loyola Marymount University and the Fred Kaiser Center for Entrepreneurship in particular. As I mentioned earlier, LMU is ranked among the top entrepreneur centers in the US. And as part of our collaboration with LMU, our graduates receive the LMU's endorsement on their graduation certificate, and LMU's incubator students are able to take advantage of our full program benefits as well. Now, joining me is, of course, David Choi, who you just heard from on the panel. He is Conrad and Hilton Chair of Entrepreneurship and Faculty Director of the Family Business Entrepreneurship Program at LMU, and Dr. Jason DeMello, Associate Professor and Director of the Business Incubator at LMU. Again, welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your support. You've been with us since our early stages of building this program, and you've been absolutely amazing to work and collaborate with. And I congratulate you for winning this award. So let me hand off the virtual mic to David, I guess.
Oh, thank you so much. You kind of mentioned this might happen, but I didn't really know what was happening, and so it wasn't quite expected. So thank you so much. We just like the idea of helping startups, and you guys are sort of a startup, but you guys help other startups. So we love the idea of being a partner. So yeah, thanks for the award.
My pleasure. Jason?
Oh, I'm honored, guys. What a great surprise, and we really have appreciated the innovation that's gone into Peachscore, the personal touch. Payman was in my class last week, sharing wisdom with our incubator students and helping them utilize this wonderful resource and just library of wealth through the Peachscore Accelerator program. I think you guys build community, and at LMU, we're big on community. We really consider our program to be a family, and thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing working with you guys, and I always love coming in and talking with students, going through an entrepreneurship program. It's always great to see young minds trying to see how they can build successful businesses. Thank you both again. Really appreciate it. All right, folks, let's go on to our next segment. If I can have Ryan join us again, as well as Dan. And let me reshare my screen. There we go. Okay. So, as many of you know, thank you both for being here. Strategic partnerships are a key factor for building great businesses. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm elated to announce today that we're officially launching our partnership with Carta and with our two new anchor partners, Carta and HubSpot. Both two high caliber enterprises focus on supporting the startup ecosystem. They do amazing work, amazing tools, absolutely amazing resources. Partnering with both HubSpot and Carta is a very natural extension to what we do here at Peachscore, and it allows us to continue to support founders at scale. So joining me is Dan Gallagher, head of West Coast and Southern Partnerships at HubSpot, in particular HubSpot for Startups, and also Ryan O'Connor, who you just heard from in our panel, Senior Business Development for VC and Accelerator Partnerships at Carta. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining me and helping us build this new partnership and getting this underway. Let me start out with Dan, since we were just hearing from Ryan, and then we'll switch to Ryan. Dan, we'd love to hear a few words from you.
Awesome. Thanks, Payment. Good to see you again, Ryan. We bump into each other across partnerships. So yeah, it's great to be partnered with Peachscore. I think y'all have a great operation going. Lots of good resources. I mean, we work with over 5,000 partners, and so it's a privilege to be kind of a tier one with y'all. I would say the HubSpot for Startups partnership and what you have access through Peachscore. We have a bunch of free resources that you're able to tap into. Basically, any support that you need in the go-to-market space, whether that's fundraising, sales, service, marketing, operations, e-commerce, we're going to have a toolkit, a template, a video tutorial, and some other resources. And then there's going to be additional private resources only available to Peachscore founders. So any way that we can assist you on your journey, please let us know. We're going to have some excellent content that we're going to be producing together for the community. And I'll keep it short with that. I'll put my email in the chat, or if any of you want to connect with me, please let me know how I can support. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Payman.
Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Payman. I mean, we're really excited to announce this partnership with Peachscore. We've been working with Alex and Payman quite a bit over the last couple of months to figure out the best way that Carta can support the founders that are going through the Peachscore Accelerator, and they come with a lot of passion about early stage founder development, which was what I would say, jumped out the most. In terms of like Carta's involvement, I mean, I think we're really opening up a whole bunch of resources to you all, the founders. I think there's a lot of open questions, especially when it comes to some of the back end, needs of, foundational needs of a business. Like, what is a safe? What is a convertible note? How does this impact my ownership? What is dilution? All of those things, I would say Carta excels at answering. And so we come with a wealth of information and resources to effectively guide you on your journey. I would say in terms of like the partnership itself, Carta is offering the Peachscore founders, access to our free Carta launch program, which you can issue safes. You can have an idea of like how much to fundraise based on your industry, based on your region. You can model those safes and understand, okay, what am I doing and how does that impact my ownership in the program? And then just a bunch of different resources. And if and when, you hopefully get to the point of raising over $1 million and get to a paid plan, we've set the Peachscore founders up with a really great discount of 25% off the first year of any paid plan, which go through Peachscore, don't go through your law firm just because you'll get a better deal, and don't tell your law firm that. But no, we're really excited, and I think the partnership really opens up a lot more than what I'm talking about, and so you have like a direct line to me and my team, and if you have questions, if you're looking for a law firm introduction, if you're looking for anything, just start with us and see what happens. And my email will be readily available. I hope you connect with me on LinkedIn, and I hope you'll find what I was talking about in terms of our dedication to like our customer experience. We're going to be responsive. We're going to try to be helpful, and we're going to try to do that as quickly as possible. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Likewise, we're quite excited. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Dan. Really appreciate it. Both yourselves and as well as the Carta and HubSpot. It's incredible in terms of the journey ahead. Thank you so much. So with that, let me go on to our next section. And if I can invite Darja on the screen. Hi, Darja. All right, let me go ahead and share my slides again. A little logistics here. And there we go. Okay, so, oh, wait a minute. I'm not sharing correctly. What happened? Sorry about this. Too many monitors, too many windows. Okay, here we go. All right. So here we go. Thank you so much, Darja, for joining me. So this next section, but again, more excellent news. It's been kind of a day of announcements and a lot of excitement to share. So now, as everyone knows, Dealum is one of our strategic partners, and we're continuing to expand our partnership with Dealum to collaborate on solutions to bring in data-driven assessment and capabilities to empower 25,000 investors and heighten the visibility of the startups accessing this ecosystem exponentially. So joining me is Darja Ogurandik, excuse me, Business Development Manager at Dealum. Again, welcome again, Darja. Thank you so much for being here. Let me stop share so we can love to hear a few words from you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. We are very excited to have a partnership with Peachscore. I personally have a background in a traditional accelerator, so I have a very strong belief that founders deserve to get access to knowledge. And when we found each other, I think this is a very harmonic partnership. We have a lot of startups, especially early stage startups on Dealum, and I think this partnership helps to bridge the gap for those who are maybe a little bit too early for traditional accelerator, or they're fundraising and looking to build a successful business first time. So providing this knowledge on their own terms without losing any equity, I think has been a very great way how we can support our founders. And as Payman already mentioned, we're happy to announce that we're deepening our partnership, and we will be building a common functionality, basically providing feedback from the founders of the startups get on during their time on Peachscore, because Peachscore creates a great assessment and benchmarks each startup on the platform, and we will be pulling it into the Dealum, and this will be reflected on the startup application. And the goal is that those who have went through the pre-accelerator will be also more visible to the investors. They will enhance their application, and hopefully this will increase their chances of successfully fundraising. So we're very happy to be the partner with Peachscore, and I'm sure we're cooking up some more exciting things in the future as well together. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's just an incredible way for us to partner and be able to have startups to be able to get this information, be able to do the benchmarking, see their score, and as well as the investors to be able to really streamline their due diligence process. So it's absolutely incredible. And even more important for our founders to be able to really learn how investors really do due diligence and how platforms such as yours and ours can really help them in terms of everything we're talking about today. It's like how to build successful companies and raise money. Thank you again, Darja. It's been amazing working with you. And I look forward to see what this year brings. It's been amazing. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Here, thanks.
All righty. Okay, so on to our startup awards section. So I'd like to invite Tommaso on screen, and let me share my screen again. There he is. Hello, Tommaso. Okay, so now this brings up to our best startup of Q1 2025. So across our cohorts, we see all the time. I work with just about all of our startups in our cohorts, and I see the incredible dedication from our founders who work tirelessly to achieve their goals. Choosing one is always very difficult. We always have to go through a very rigorous process with our mentors and advisors, our team, and really look at how everybody is gaining traction, but we have to pick somebody. So this quarter, I'm really happy to announce that our startup winner is Noro and Tomasio Trinfai, CEO of founder. Noro has successfully secured $2 million in pre-seed funding. And they also just won an award, Best of Show at 2025 at IC Barcelona. So, Tomso, congratulations. And love to hear a few words from you.
Thank you, Payman. First of all, I'm very touched by this award. Didn't expect it. It's been a pleasure being in this accelerator. Learn a lot, although I'm not spring chicken. I still have a lot to learn, and especially your guidance and Alex with you It's been really very valuable for me. And I didn't know somebody could give me so much feedback on a deck, which you did. And it was very positive feedback, helped us a lot. So it's been an honor. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much. It's been amazing working with you. And now we're going to go ahead and start with our startup presentation. So let me go ahead and reshare my screen again. And so this is the main portion of our program here. We have 15 amazing startups across 4 countries and 9 industry presenting their innovative startups today at our demo day. To begin is Mr. Tomaseo. Company is Noro, as you just heard. So Noro is about building life-size, fully immersive video conferencing, connecting workplaces as if you're in the same room. The company was founded back in 2022 out of New York, focused in IoT industry, and currently in the seed stage round. Company has a score of 710 with a grade of A-. And with that, Tomaseo, please go ahead and present.
Thank you.
Stop share.
Let me share my screen. And you should be able to see. Do you see my presentation?
I can. If you can go full screen, and you can go ahead and start.
I'm going to go full screen. And there we go. Very good. Thank you very much for the introduction, Payman. Here's Noro. I'm Tommaso, the founder and CEO of Noro. Traveling is very attractive and is pleasant, especially when we go for a few days in a new city. We can catch up with a friend, see some colleagues, go out for dinner, go out for lunch or drinks, and this human, and this is irreplaceable. Zoom is great for what we do today. Amazing. People are calling in from all over the place, even internationally, and it works very, very well for an hour, 2 hours. But is the in-between that is, we believe, is missing. Short-term travel, and when you have to get up very early, catch a 7:00 a.m. flight, go somewhere, spend the entire day in the office, come back late at night, is expensive, exhausting, and unsustainable. And Zoom and Teams don't have the eye contact and movement. You wouldn't spend 7 hours a day in a meeting in Zoom. And so a solution, imagine now if you had a wall, an entire wall that is a video, and on the other side you have another wall in another place miles away, then there's also video, and all of a sudden you can actually see the person in front of you. And that's what we've been building at Noro, essentially portals. As you can see here, you have London connecting to Chicago, or below New York City and Atlanta. You have a second screen where you can project screen sharing, presentation, whiteboarding, and all collaboration tools. In life size, you have eye contact, you look at each other in the eyes, is a unique way of our technology, and you can move around. You don't have to be seated down. We've been doing this for a while. Initially, we started in education. We have a bunch of portals around the world. We connect students and universities and colleges to those. And we're generating about $800,000 there with about 13 customers. As Payman mentioned before, we, for the first time, went to ISC this time, and we won Best Video Conferencing Technology at the show, ESA, the most important trade show in the world. We launched last year the corporate product with McKinsey. We had an incredible pilot with them. We learned a ton of lessons. I'm very grateful to them. They've been an extremely good partner for us. And we now have 3 portals at JLL, and we're installing 4 portals at Coke next month. And we're getting ready to launch commercially, hence we're raising capital. Very large market opportunity. Any companies that have several offices understands the need to connect. Today, you don't go to the office to work. You can work from anywhere. You go to the office more to meet other people. And now imagine if you can connect different offices at different places for people to connect and incentivize them to go back to the office on time to connect to other colleagues far away. Our business model is essentially a subscription. We evaluate in the past. Right now, we give the hardware and we keep the hardware our own. We got requests sometimes to do a CapEx, so we're evaluating. But regardless of that, we'll continue to do a subscription for the software, which is actually our IP, to connect all these portals together. As I mentioned, we had a good year last year. We did over $1 million in revenues. and we're planning to do close to 4 million this year, depending when we close the raise. But in any event, we started off pretty nicely with Coke installing next month. That could be a potential very large contract for us, just that one. Go-to-market is something you need to experience. You cannot say, because people say, oh, it's like Zoom. And then when they come in, they say, oh, this is so much better than Zoom. So we need to show it. So trade shows, that's why we need capital to go to these trade shows, because it can be expensive, and conferences. We already have strategic partnerships with JLL, Miller Knoll, Steelcase, and Tetris. Some of the designs are here. They help us, compose the entire room, how to interact. They're very keen on working with us. And we are talking to a number of AV integrators right now to be able to install and scale faster. Company landscape, essentially Cisco Panorama. It's very expensive, much clunkier than us. These are the main one. If you look over the years, we can be much more flexible and much more. You get much more for the dollar. Great team. Didier and I worked together before. It's a second company we do together. He's a great mathematician, very strong. I have about a decade of experience in video conference technology that sold it to Blackboard, and I work for a PE firm. We're raising a $3 million round. As Payman mentioned, we raised $2 million at pre-seed, $750 in a convertible note. And we already have some investors like Jeff Ralston, the former YC Combinator. And if you want to explore it, New York, San Francisco, Chicago, Atlanta, and London are available. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And congratulations again. Okay, let me go to our next presenter. Okay, our next startup is Daylight Vision Incorporated, a secure work management and team collaboration platform that cuts the chatter and improves productivity. Founded in 2023 from Las Vegas, United States, software industry pre-seed round with a score of 680, grade B+. Founder and CEO Ron Peters presenting. Ron?
Thank you, Payman.
Go ahead and turn on your video.
I tried to. It says
let me see.
disabled.
Maybe I have to do it. There you go.
Start my video.
Awesome.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Can you see my deck?
I can. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, I'm Ron Peters, founder and CEO of Daylight Vision. I've been in tech for a long time, and I feel no more productive now than I did years ago with just email and Excel to manage tasks. It's because every so-called innovation in the office seems specifically designed to decrease our productivity. Open offices, email, Slack, Zoom, you name it. Every perceived benefit comes with a list of distraction-inducing effects that decreases productivity. This creates an environment where the average office worker only gets about 3 good hours of work done per day because they're constantly interrupted. Interruptions cause people to lose focus, which means tasks take longer to complete and contain lots of errors that need last-minute fixes. Now, ironically, most people still get their work done on time, but at the cost of high stress and burnout. We desperately need a tool that minimizes productivity-sucking interruptions and increases our ability to focus. If people could get just 1 more good hour of focus per day, it would increase productivity by 25 to 30%, with higher quality output and a lot less stress. We want people to collaborate more efficiently, and that's why we created Cypher. Cypher is a work management and team collaboration platform that minimizes interruptions with AI-based focused assistance and interruption management, so you can get your work done in the deep work zone more often. Everything is organized around your project work, not endless chats, and it's designed for speed so you can be at your best and most productive. And it's all based on end-to-end encryption, which is ideal for remote and hybrid work. So let me digress on that last point for a minute. 5 years ago, I wrote a white paper to myself on what I wanted in a business communications platform, and end-to-end encryption was very high on that list. So I put in a huge amount of effort building our core platform from scratch using the world's best end-to-end encryption protocol, messaging layer security. MLS is the new global standard for interoperable end-to-end encryption. And honestly, all business software and government software too should use it moving forward or be at risk for ever more sophisticated hackers. To prevent unauthorized access, all Key packages, tokens, credentials, they're cryptographically bound to private keys that never leave the client devices. And we're also ready for the impending era of post-quantum encryption. What we've created is a state-of-the-art platform that addresses lots of incredible use cases. We're launching in 5 data residency regions to choose from, and later we plan to offer an on-premises container for governments and organizations that have specific security requirements. And all regions and all premises and on-premises containers fully interoperate with each other while maintaining end-to-end encryption guarantees. The market for team collaboration software is huge and growing at almost 10% per year. Our beachhead market is over $4 billion, targeting the 281 million knowledge workers in the US, Canada, EU, Middle East, and North Africa. Our business model is SaaS B2C, although I like to call it B2P because our market is professionals rather than consumers. We have per seat tiered pricing, including a free tier, and AI is available in all tiers. We're launching Cypher on all the app stores very soon, and our goal this year is to convert 8,000 paid users, which would give us a forward ARR of over $1 million and set us up for rapid growth moving forward. Our go-to-market is product-led growth, ultimately building a robust community of evangelists and fanatics. We plan to build in the open, iterate rapidly, and actively engage our users in the development process. None of the integrated players in the market are centered around focus and deep work like Cypher. We're hitting this market hard with value-based pricing, enabled by driving the compute and storage onto the user's devices as much as possible, which greatly reduces our infrastructure costs. My co-founder Chris and I have worked together off and on for almost 20 years, and we're really excited to be doing this. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and my first job was a startup that spun out of the MIT Media Lab where I did my undergraduate research. And after that company was acquired, I went to Apple where I learned what it takes to create a fanatic user base around great products. Chris is a world-class designer, and one of the secrets to breaking into this market is to have incredible design, so his experience and expertise is critical to our success. We've raised $90K from friends and family and recently secured a $25K grant from our local county, and now we're looking to raise $500K for a 14-month runway. These funds will primarily be used for marketing and product development. Help us improve focus and reduce stress for office workers because deep work is the best work. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate it. Okay, let me share now. And there's Brian. Okay.
You got me?
Yes, here we go. All right. Next company is BenFin.ai. BenFin helps financial advisors drive organic growth by delivering happiness to clients. I love that. Not just wealth. Founded in 2024 out of Wilmington, United States, focused on advertising and marketing industry, pre-seed stage with the score of 702, grade A-. Join us is Brian Barber, co-founder and CFO. Brian, go ahead.
Right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, go ahead.
Excellent. I'm Brian Barber with BenFin. Thank you, Payman. And thank you also for all the feedback you gave me. You spent a lot of time with me on this, so much appreciated.
Our pleasure.
We've built a marketing referral engine for wealth managers. The problem is these guys get 80% of their new business from referrals within their client base, but their average growth rate is only 1.8%. They're not getting enough of these referrals. And if you think about that, it's not easy to get those referrals. If they ask their clients, it's awkward. Clients don't want to stick their friends into a sales call. Sometimes these guys host events. I've talked to over 200 of them, and they've told me these stories of hosting events that are like timeshare presentations. The people come with their defenses up. So those don't work. We found one thing that does work, and that's hiring human ambassadors to chat with clients, become friends with them, and open up the personal referrals. Problem is, this is expensive and not scalable. Enter BenFin. We've created an AI agent. We call it the happiness concierge that replaces the function of these human client service ambassadors, gets to know the clients at a human level, and feeds the financial advisor a lot of personal preference information, allowing the financial advisor to serve the client at a much more personal level and get to those personal referrals. We call this creating referable moments, and it's a much more natural way to get those marketing referrals. The market is huge. Financial advisory is growing. These uncertain times only make it more appealing to have a human taking care of the client. This is why people go after this business or come to this business as a customer. So our future market is only growing. Our business model is B2B SaaS, and we keep it very simple. It's priced at about 25% the cost of one human client service ambassador, and of course, it's infinitely scalable. And the simple pricing gives financial advisors an incentive to roll it out to as many of their clients as possible. Our financial projections may seem aggressive, but we did a sales exercise through brute force and learned how to reach our target market and how to sell to them, and built a sales pipeline of over 70 customers who asked us to get back to them when the product is complete. So we are very optimistic with a 20% conversion rate. We can already meet our year one sales target. The sales plan, as I mentioned, started with brute force. I did a lot of LinkedIn and networking, spoke to over 200 advisors, got more than 70 of them on the wait list. And in a nice piece of market validation, 3 of them asked, is this something I could buy? 2 of those actually converted to paying customers. So we are post-revenue now. In the competitive landscape, we're competing for share of marketing budget. Financial advisory firms spend a lot on lead gen services for cold outreach. This is not an effective way to build their business. So that's somewhere where Benfin competes very effectively. They sometimes offer value-added services to their clients, and sometimes they hire consultants or just send out surveys. Clients don't really like that. So Benfin is positioned as a referral engine, and this is a much more effective way for financial advisors to get new business. Our team, I've worked with John. This is our 3rd project together. We did a very high-pressure consulting engagement together for a year during COVID, and we worked very well under pressure. This is also our 2nd startup together, so we know each other very well. Straker, I met him first in 2017. He's our CTO, and he's taking the product from the no-code V1 to the fully coded version of V2. Traction, I mentioned, we have 2 paying customers already. They're paying us on that monthly SaaS fee. We discounted it to $1,000 to get them in early, and then we work closely with them as development partners. We got an angel investment of $50,000, and we've got our V1 commercial product almost ready. We're going to have it in the hands of our 2 customers' clients next month. So we're very close to market launch, and then we'll turn on the sales engine. We're raising a seed round of 1.5 million on a save with a 7.5 million post-money valuation cap. I've gotten a lot of feedback around this number, so happy to discuss terms with anyone who's interested. But in this case, it will allow us to turbocharge the growth. We'll build the product and then build the sales engine to drive very rapid growth. Again, I got a very positive response in talking to customer prospects, and I'm very excited to take this to market and sell it. Love to talk to you more. So please reach out if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. Okay, here we go. Our next startup presentation is Away Together, a smart tech solution for every hospitality host. Founded in 2020 from Erie, United States, apps industry, and in seats a stage round currently, with a score of 585. Co-founder and CEO, Melanie Brewer.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead,
Payman.
Melanie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Melanie Brewer, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Away Together. Oop. Have you ever experienced a problem with communication, maybe while traveling? The pool was down, the beach barbecue had maybe moved to a different location, or in our situation, a tropical storm left us stuck in the room, wondering if there was anybody else out there who just wanted to meet in the lobby to play a game of cards. And the best that the hotel could offer was this dusty, outdated rat card station in the lobby. The worst part, though, most hosts miss out on revenue because they don't have the financial means to digitally engage their guests. The solution? An all-encompassing mobile application that not only allows for better communication from host to guest, but real-time communication between the guests staying at a location. Travelers are craving immersive experiences, both in communication and access to cultural experiences. In fact, Travelers spend or increase their spend by almost $800 on experiences. But here's the kicker. Most locations miss out on that revenue because they lack the ability to advertise directly to the traveler. The solution? An all-encompassing mobile application that not only allows for better communication from host to guest, but real-time communication between the guests staying at a location. Introducing Away Together, a fully customizable mobile application which highlights everything a host has to offer, all while allowing for host-to-guest and guest-to-guest communication. From the Away Together home screen, a traveler simply scans a QR code and the app is immediately transformed to apply to that accommodation. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my mouse. The pool hours, menus, upsell opportunities, all of it. The guests can also browse the offerings of the location, including volunteer, cultural, and off-the-beaten-path experiences. Away Together breaks the trend of app deletion by allowing for pre-trip and post-trip engagement. There are over 1 million properties globally, and 90% of them are independently owned. Additionally, there are over 15,000 outdoor recreational parks, and 90% of them are independently owned. In the cruise space, there are over 800 lines, but only half of them would be applicable to Away Together. Our focus is centered around hosts in the United States and the Caribbean that have multiple properties. Call them mini chains, if you will. With an average monthly cost of $350 per month and a growing pipeline, we are on track to reach $117 million over the next 5 years. Hosts pay a monthly subscription rate paid annually. The local providers, such as restaurants, shops, and excursions, as well as the off-the-beaten-path experiences, pay a similar structure. They also can opt in for additional services such as SEO. Because the host can capture a portion of the commission from the ancillary booking, Away Together offers the ability for a host to quote-unquote pay down on that monthly subscription rate. With over 1,100 customer discovery sessions, 100 beta tests, and tons of relationship building, we're finally at a point of revenue production. After executing letters of intent, as well as some new customer acquisition, we will end 2025 at just slightly above $1 million in revenue. In 2026, with the expansion into the additional markets, we expect to surpass $2 million in ARR and add on just short of another $1 million in new subscriptions. Through trade shows and other networking events, as well as partnering with some of the industry's bigger organizations, we've built a database of over 2,800 hosts. 1,900 of those are in locations within our target market. In the Caribbean and the United States specifically, it's very common for an owner to have more than one property, meaning once we knock it out of the park with that one location, the cost of acquisition for the sistering property dramatically drops. Away Together is the only travel mobile application that allows for all facets of communication, while also highlighting the host and the host location. The only other app out there that hosts the same capabilities belongs to one of the major cruise lines. It's about time for everyone else to get on board. I have over 20 years in the marketing and public relations industry. John is our Chief Operational Officer and has spent over 25 years in law enforcement. As COO, he focuses on application development and maintaining the safety and the security of the platform. Dr. Carrie Hall is our Director of Caribbean Development, and she lives in Barbados. Abdullah was a former intern and is now our boots on the ground guy in Riyadh. We've put a huge focus on networking and relationship building and will continue to grow the development and develop each customer in each vertical. We've raised over $500,000 and we're fully in market. To grow quickly, we are looking to raise $675,000. This investment will pour gasoline on sales and marketing. We are currently integrating Viator's API, which will not only allow hotels to increase ancillary revenue, but will also be a potential for acquisition. In conclusion, Away Together streamlines the communication for the host while allowing guests to truly experience the location. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Molly. Okay, let's go to our next presenter. Our next startup is Apaya Solutions, Inc. Eyes on the Shelf, real-time inventory intelligence for retailers, founded in 2023 from Lots United States IT industry pre-seed stage with a score of 653, grade B+. Presenting is founder and CEO, Ramesh Tirumala. Ramesh, are you with us?
Hi, my name is Ramesh Tirumala. I am the CEO and founder of Apaya Solutions, where we have developed a real-time inventory intelligence platform for retailers. Retailers face several challenges. Of that, the top three are revenue loss from out of stock, and in US alone, it's about $300 billion plus loss. And the second one is pilferage and shrinkage from the shelves, and in US alone, it's about $100 billion plus. And the third challenge is the rising labor costs. All of these eat into the profitability of the business. The solution, computer vision AI platform using on-shelf cameras and GPU edge devices, has proven to be very cost effective and efficient in delivering this solution. And our studies from early adopters has found that we can reduce out of stock and pilferage by 75%. And in addition, all of the labor cost by 50%. And all of this is going to improve the store profitability. The product is from Appia is Vision 37 computer vision AI based real-time system, inventory intelligence system, sending out real notification on out of stock, missing and misplaced products. Also, it's automating the inventory tracking process. From a distribution standpoint, provides brand metrics, brand velocity, high performing, low performing brands. From a shelf perspective, for the retailers, shelf occupancy and replenishment times of products, and on-demand inventory reports anytime you want. Market opportunity is huge. It's $15 billion globally, retail. And with our beachhead strategy, we are approaching the high-value wine and spirit stores because of the high ROI involved. And with 4,000 stores in about 5 years, we expect about $50 million of revenue. And then as we expand into other verticals, long-term, a sum of about $1 billion. The revenue model is B2B SaaS. It's similar to today's POS system with 3 to 5 years contract and minimal hardware installation costs and a recurring monthly subscription fee based on number of aisles. The revenue, if once we get our investment, we're going to achieve up to 40 stores, significant revenues, and into 2029, about $35+ million with 4,000 stores of large enterprises. The go-to-market strategy, we have divided into 3 segments. First is the small independent owner operator, where we're going to approach direct sales, Google Ads, social media. Whereas for the medium to large chains and the distribution, we are going to leverage our strategic partnerships and also our deep retail connection coming from our sales and marketing team and the advisory panel. So competitive landscape, we differentiate in 4 key areas. Number 1, we have fixed cameras monitoring 24/7 and sending real-time notifications, while others have mobile platforms. Number 2 is UPC barcode. We have 155,000 products already in our database, metadata, and this will enable omni-channel strategy with actionable intelligence. The third is we have patent pending partial stock recognition that others don't have. And the fourth is we are leading in the wine and spirit segment with our computer vision model that others don't have, where they are in the other big box retail. With the team, we have, in addition to decades of experience in product development, technology, engineering, and commercial launch, we also have deep expertise and decades of experience in hospitality, retail, channel, and distribution. In addition, we have newer talent with computer vision, AI software, camera systems engineering, and also in order to support the deployments, field operations, and customer support. From an advisory standpoint, we have retail experts with specific experience in beverage space and also product market fit and customer journey with part of the ARC Innovation Center where we graduated. Ask is 500,000 safe for 18 months runway. We already have a lead investor. We need to close this round to hit these targets, and the spend is mostly around deployments for camera systems and operations and reserve and incremental machine learning software support these deployments that we targeted. Thank you, and we are excited to have you on this journey of Appia Solutions to transform the retail space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ramesh. Okay, let's go to our next presenter. Share here. Our next startup is Polyopt AI, focusing on limiting the impact of workplace safety incidents using proactive measures. Founded in 2024 out of Armenia, IT industry with the pre-seed at the pre-seed stage, score of 785 with a grade of A. Co-founder and CEO is presenting Hafsat Karaguzyan, if I pronounced that correctly. Hafsat, can you please join us on stage? Could you, I see you're sharing. Could you also come on camera, please?
I have unmuted.
And camera as well, please.
I'm trying, yes, sir. Camera on.
Let me try, maybe.
Yes, please. Start my video.
There you are.
Okay, then. Awesome. That should help us. But before I begin, of course, I'd like to thank the Peachscore team in general and Payman yourself for being such a great mentor for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Polyopt AI, a solution that addresses workplace safety proactively. Although we cannot prevent workplace safety incidents from occurring, it is the unreported incidents that could cause loss of assets or fatalities. This is usually mainly due to the time-consuming and error-prone reporting process. Due to reporting friction, 1 in 6 incidents are not even reported because it's such a burden on witnesses to report these things. While reporting the incident, if it doesn't happen in near real time as close to the actual incident itself, the time that's being lost here could cause the company a lot of losses. Sometimes even the reports themselves could be ambiguous or have not enough data in there, which means at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what happened in the incident. And because of this, what we're usually doing is we don't know the root cause, so we're only treating the symptoms, not the actual causes. This at times is not only causing loss in money, but it's also causing loss in lives. The solution, well, organizations should encourage people to report incidents as and when they occur and provide enough details for them to take actions. A viable solution should have the following capabilities. Reporting should be frictionless, as easy as possible. Reporting should happen near real time, as and when the incident is occurring. The details that are being captured from the incident should be relevant enough and adequate enough and accurate enough for us to make the actual decision. Not to mention that the root cause of this particular incident needs to be analyzed, so we need to analyze the root cause. While doing this, we need to be proactive rather than being reactive, because if we are going to be reactive at the end of the day, we haven't really won or gained anything. Polyopt AI does exactly that. It helps capture the incidents as and when they occur by doing the following. It is a software as a service platform that has an accompanying web, tablet, a mobile, and other types of applications. It's multilingual in nature, whereby users could use any means. One such means is, of course, their smartphones. They can capture the incident while they are witnessing it. That information can be submitted in their own language to this engine. This engine will translate it to the language of choice of the organization. Let's assume English. And at the end of the day, key information is being extracted from that incident report, and those ones are being used in the analytical, compliance, and other types of reports. We're hoping that within time, this information will be enough for the AI engine to be able to help predict future incidents and try to prevent them before they occur. The market is a large one. We're speaking about no less than around $19 billion annually, with a compound annual growth rate of just under 17%. We're looking at a beachhead of at least $30 million AIR within the next few years. And we are seeing that the healthcare industry, which is the focus of our current, let's say, market size, is around $2 billion. And if you can manage to get the $120 million out of that one, the sooner, the better. We'll be selling Polyopt AI in a business-to-business to consumer model. We'll be teaming up with Microsoft. We will publish Polyopt AI in their marketplace and have them added as an add-on to the Power Platform or Microsoft 365. And this, of course, happens with a subscription that can be paid annually or monthly. We have different packages for different types of users for different purposes. We're projecting an exponential growth in revenue. We hope that we can make the $30 million conservative figures within the next 5 years, and we expect to be profitable within 3 years from now. We have a go-to-market strategy whereby we'll be focusing on Kuwaiti and Arab healthcare institutions first, and then we will expand to Europe and the other ones. We have a pilot customer called Kuwait Hospital. We'll be deploying the MVP there and getting their feedback. Success stories and other things, will be publish them through these channels and try to make as much market share as possible. Our competitors have the advantage over us as being in the lead for such a long time. But what they focus on is the compliance reports and the analytics only. Rarely do they have any artificial intelligence capabilities built in. And even those who do have those ones do not have the possibility of translating the media, not even having the predictions and the other type of models. What we're building is something that addresses these points proactively. The team currently consists of myself, Josep Karagizian, and my brother, Agop Karagizian. Between us, we have more than 50 years of experience. We've been together ever since my brother was born. He's 13 years younger than me. In 2011, we created a company called Sharper Software, currently working on it. And we have successful projects built there. Last 8 years of those ones were in the workplace safety management. We're asking for a safe investment of 758 grand with a 20% discount rate. We received a grant worth $25,000 from the Ministry of High Tech Industry in Armenia, and we're trying to get and raise more money as we speak. With that, I'd like to thank everyone once again. Here are some ways you can reach us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go to our next presenter. Okay, our next startup is Respects Tech Incorporated, revolutionizing workplace communication and culture, founded in 2024 out of Staunton, United States. Software industry in pre-seed stage with a score of 721, grade A-. Co-founder and CEO Leah Cayo is presenting. Leah?
Thank you, Payman. Greetings. I'm CEO and co-founder Leah Cayo of Respects Tech Inc. As is often true, our product.
Leah, sorry, you're sharing your Slack, looks like.
Oh, huh. Stop. Share. Is that the right one?
There you go. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's start over. Greetings. I'm Leah Cayo, co-founder and CEO of Respects Tech Inc. As is often true, our company and our product both have a story. I've spent the last 30 years creating tools and programming related to respect in business. So think communication, conflict, leadership, followership. It's all research-based, successfully field tested. Respects Tech has created an AI agent that is also reactive and reflective. So all of that expertise can be easily accessed and leveraged. This is how we're revolutionizing culture and communication. An organization, supposed to be on the right slide. There you go. An organization that has positive culture is bound for success. However, poor communication, which is like that email that sounds condescending or the chat that lands wrong, that erodes the culture and threatens the company. It's a problem that's plagued businesses and humans since the beginning of time. That poor communication costs $37 billion annually, including a 30% loss in team effectiveness, $223 billion lost in employee turnover, and $300 billion lost because of workplace stress. Additionally, there's no quantifiable data that can truly indicate what type of culture an organization has. Survey data, which is what we're using right now, can at best establish correlation, but not causation. So what's the answer to the age-old problem? It's a software platform that can analyze, type text, and ensure professional and respectful communication. At the same time, providing some level of quantifiable data to assess whether organizational culture is truly respectful. It's through effective communication that we know statistically businesses see a 4x increase in revenue growth and a 12% increase in employee productivity. Employee satisfaction increases by 20%, and quality talent is attracted to the positive culture. With that quantification of communication behavior, KPIs can be derived that support strategic planning and even more growth. So this is our product, and it works on email, as you can see here. You type the text, hit the icon to prompt it to assess and review, and the potential negative impact is then highlighted. You can, and it can show you what the impact is, give you an option for replace or discard, and then scroll through the various options. You get told you're well done. And then there's the back end, which is the real value proposition, the dashboard, where the categorization of the topics are identified and trackable with the number of users and suggestions. And you have the ability to look at history through the dropdown. This is an AI agent built through a fine-tuned LLM trained on my tools and content gathered over 3 decades. We're North American focused based on current language and culture model of our product. Our market opportunity looks specifically at organizations that have a focus on initiative related to organizational culture. Our TAM is $41 billion. Our SAM, U.S. Professional Services, is a $29 billion market. Our beachhead, based on our ongoing market research as well as customer discovery interviews, is all about HR execs and their adjacent roles in organizations. That's a $750 million segment that we intend to conservatively infiltrate at 10% in the first 5 years. Again, it's conservative because of our quote unquote hidden value proposition, which is the dashboard you saw. This is a niche that no one is in right now. We're largely a B2B SaaS. Our annual subscription model is based on the number of employees. You'll notice that our costs are affordable, something that's important in our mission and values as a company, increasing the value proposition of the product. We also know that as our beta data comes in, those may need to be adjusted. Based on our current positioning, we expect to capitalize on our annual recurring revenue. Grammarly has a rate of 90% returning customers, and the average rate for SaaS is a 68%. We're expecting at least 70%, which will allow a significant increase in revenue by year 3 and following. Our aggregate 10% of beachhead market is over 70 million by year 5. Our go-to-market, we've done considerable legwork in our initial marketing research and our ongoing customer discovery programs. That's allowed us to kind of line them up in anticipation of the MVP beta release in the next 2 to 4 weeks. We have 70 LOIs that right now with the expectation of about 250 by the time the MVP rolls out. While these are individuals, they represent our SOM, and we expect 50% of those individuals to be able to influence their organizations. Additionally, we're currently implementing our early adopter program incentives as well as established HR consultant referral partnerships. Something that recently came into view is a joint venture opportunity working with digital HR product suites where we become an added value proposition. In our competitive landscape, currently Grammarly is seen as the most likely competitor. And as you can see, they do nothing that we do. We have a well-rounded team. As the CEO, I founded and led 4 successful businesses with multi-million-dollar federal contracts. Jason, our CRO, has raised $23.6 million in revenue and sales, and Max, our CTO, has founded and led 2 AI businesses with 1 exit. Our ask is a pre-seed of $1 million via safes with a 20% discount, $10 million cap, 12-month runway. We've already raised $185,000 via angels and founders. We've also had a great opportunity for a 1-to-1 match up to $75,000 non-equity diluting, so a bigger bang for the buck. Thank you for your time and consideration. We look forward to hearing from you.
Our next startup is Sable Therapeutics, developing specialized line of body creams to shrink subcutaneous fat and rejuvenate skin. Founded in 2019 out of New York, United States. Community and lifestyle industry in pre-seed stage with a score of 614, grade B-. Vivek Navali, Chief Strategy Officer, is presenting.
Some of these areas include glove handles, eye bags, under chin, and thigh fat. The current solutions we have at dermatology and plastic surgery clinics focus on destroying or removing excess fat, which alone is not sustainable. That's because the cause of excess fat is not an increase in the number of fat cells, but an enlargement of existing fat cells. With that in mind, our solution at Sable is to rejuvenate fat cells with our advanced science to reduce fat cell size, restoring them to their younger and healthier version. Our vision is to launch multiple product lines of slimming creams tailored to different areas of the body, starting with an abdominal foam for love handles. Each product will include our core innovation, a novel nanomaterial called SPL001, which we exclusively license from Columbia University Medical Center. SPL001 selectively targets fat cells and induces profound reduction in their size. It works by inhibiting key drivers of lipid synthesis, resulting in functional yet smaller fat cells. SPL001 can also be modified for transdermal delivery, optimizing its delivery to subcutaneous fat. The total addressable market for slimming creams is very attractive, sitting at $7 billion approximately, and is expected to grow at a 15% CAGR. We are specifically targeting professional and luxury consumer segments of the slimming cream market here in the US, which in total is valued at about 1.5 billion USD. Our two-pronged business model will drive growth and sustainability. First, we will target professional channels like dermatology and plastic surgery clinics across the US. Our products will be displayed in the clinics and available online, while physicians recommend them to patients seeking sub-Q fat reduction solutions. To strengthen this partnership, we'll incentivize physicians with a percentage of every purchase, creating a win-win relationship that drives long-term sales through expert endorsements. Then we'll go directly to consumer through luxury e-commerce and retail channels. This straightforward approach allows us to expand our reach and tap into the premium high-end market. To complement our business model, we've also formed a strategic partnership with a leading Korean cosmetics company, leveraging Korea's position as a global hub for beauty innovation and manufacturing. This partnership offers significant advantages over traditional fee-for-service models, streamlining manufacturing and supply chain management, while also ensuring access to high-quality, innovative products and ingredients. The opportunity for growth at Sable is extraordinary. In our first year, we project $250,000 in sales through our professional sales channel. By 2033, we anticipate our professional sales channel to grow up to $50 million in annual recurring revenue, driven by strong partnerships with physicians. On the luxury consumer side, our projections reach 100 million ARR by 2034 through e-commerce and retail channels. Together, this positions Sable for immense top-line growth and long-term market leadership. Now, our go-to-market strategy maximizes our exposure to each opportunity. For professional channels, we'll identify clinics and med spas in key concentrated areas. Our sales force will then establish partnerships with these clinics, and over time, we'll grow the consortium of trusted professionals that display and endorse Sable products, which will serve as a foundation for expanding our reach and credibility. As for luxury consumers, we'll focus on building a robust online and retail presence through tailored branding, marketing, and social media campaigns. By emphasizing the premium quality, we'll ensure our products resonate with the right consumers. Currently, there is significant untapped space in the slimming cream market for Sable. Among currently available products, the most common active slimming ingredients is caffeine, where there's very limited, robust scientific evidence to support their effects. Sable is highly differentiated from these players with its robust scientific evidence to back its effects in our approach. And so today, we are raising a $1 million pre-seed round via SAFE, which will provide us with 18 months of runway for completion of product development up to first commercial launch. Sable's founding investor has already committed $100,000, and we are also excited to share that last month we secured our first outside investment. We've put together a talented team bespoke to the opportunity, and we've also surrounded ourselves with an incredible advisory board. We think there is an exciting opportunity to revolutionize the fat reduction space with Sable, and we hope we can count on your investment. Thanks for this opportunity.
Okay. Our next startup is Prancer Enterprise, advanced offensive security using AI, founded in 2020 out of San Diego, California. Security company in seed round, score of 709, grade A-. Farshid Mahdavipour, founder and CEO, presenting.
Hello, everyone. My name is Farshid Mahdavi, and I'm the founder and CEO of Prancer. At Prancer, we are redefining the landscape of offensive security, much like SpaceX redefining their space travel, by making that more affordable, scalable, and automated. At Prancer, we are democratizing the offensive security, automated penetration testing, and red teaming by making that available to all industries and businesses of all sizes. With more than 25 years experience in cyber and working with several Fortune 100 companies and MSSPs, myself and the team are devoted to the Prancer vision. Also, as an investor in Prancer, my job is to make sure we are doing the work in the most productive way, in an efficient, and also reducing the waste, and also hitting our goals year over year. Let me explain you how we are doing that. Cybercrime is a $1 trillion crisis with attacks growing in scale and sophistication. The average data breach costs $4.45 million, often putting small businesses out of business. Recent high-profile breaches like MGM show the devastating impact on operations and trust. The problem? Companies are unprepared for inevitable attacks. The solution lies in proactive security testing. Just as California withstands earthquakes with preparation, businesses need continuous automated testing to build resilience. Companies that invest in proactive security are 20 times less likely to get hacked and more capable of surviving attacks. Prancer's cybersecurity SaaS platform leverages AI-driven automated penetration testing to democratize adversarial validation. It's continuous, scalable, and easy to use. No specialized knowledge is required. We simulate real-world attacks to identify weaknesses, delivering battle-tested resilience and ensuring business continuity. The cybersecurity market is valued at $250 billion, with a $70 billion TAM aligned with offensive security. Our immediate, serviceable, obtainable market is $350 million, and we're uniquely positioned to capture it with our scalable, accessible solutions. We've engaged with over 50 organizations doing POC evaluation or fully paid engagement, and nearly all of them were excited about Prancer's mission. Our platform addresses major pain points like vulnerability management, tool consolidation, pen test as code, which is our patented technology, and scalability. Prancer reduces noise, prioritizes exploitable vulnerabilities, and scales security operations efficiently. Out of all engagements, Prancer secured 20 paid customers and partnered with 10 MSPs, all with no salesperson and founder-led efforts. Prancer is recognized by Gartner as a leader in automated pen testing and red teaming tools. We also SOC 2 Type 2 certified and backed by Microsoft Azure development grants. We are a B2B SaaS platform with tiered pricing. Our main focus is MSPs and provide them $0 starting fee. We gained $400,000 founder-led revenue in 2024 with a 3x year-over-year growth trajectory. With our scalable MSP-focused model, we project nearly $100 million ARR within 5 years. Our GTM plan involved targeting many service providers, top consulting firms, and multi-platform engagements with an eye on out-of the US markets. We are focusing on our novel GTM and democratization platform to win this fierce market. We have put together top industry veterans to win this game. We are raising a $3 million seed round through a 20% discount on SAFE or convertible note. This funding will enable us to, number 1, build a sales team to scale our GTM strategy. Number 2, move our development team to US for faster execution. Number 3, support full-time team commitment for Prancer's mission.
Thank you so much today for your time and attention. If you are interested to joining us in Prancer to redefine the realm of offensive security, you can contact me directly or send an email to invest@prancer.io. Have a good time.
Our next company is Parsley 360, the future of human-centric AI, empowering people, elevating performance. Founded in 2024, San Diego, California, software industry pre-seed stage, score of 657 and a grade of B+. Founder and CEO, Cheryl and Jeanette presenting. Okay, Cheryl. Go for it. And go ahead and come on camera as well, please. There you are.
Here I am. Hello. So, let's try this. 23. According to Gallup, that's the percentage of the global workforce that's engaged at work. The other 77% who are disengaged or actively disengaged cost the world's economy $8.8 trillion per year in lost productivity. I'm Cheryl and Jeanette, founder and CEO of Parsley 360, a human-centered AI-enabled performance optimization system. So let's break this down. Disengagement correlates with lost productivity, as does burnout, and these lead to attrition, talent, walking out the door. Combined, these issues cost North American companies more than $1.5 trillion per year. But they're symptoms of a bigger issue. Leaders are flying blind. The data they're getting doesn't address the root cause of these symptoms. So bad data leads to imprecise solutions. In addition, solutions are fragmented and lack continuous monitoring to catch issues early before they grow. And finally, employees who know what's going on don't tell the truth for fear of repercussions, which leads to manageable issues spiraling because they're not addressed early. Now, the answer is simple, but it hasn't been easy until now. AI is the missing link.
Is that my cue?
Did you guys hear that? Yes? Yes, great. Meet Jax, our chief AI. Jax, can you tell our future partners what the solution is?
What employees need is to feel safe, to share openly without fear of repercussions. And they need support and guidance to manage the stressors that are draining their energy and enthusiasm. Leaders need better data and continuous monitoring to catch issues early before they escalate into costly problems.
Thanks, Jax. That's why we created a system that works with both leaders and employees. Employees get a pocket coach that's available anytime, anywhere, whether it's 3 a.m. or 5 minutes before a high-stakes meeting. And leadership gets a front line to support their talent in a way that surfaces issues early. An executive dashboard provides real-time insights and strategic recommendations to turn guesswork into informed decision-making.
And I can be your continuous monitoring that's always patient and always on, so you humans don't burn out.
Precisely. Over the past 18 months, we've developed a proprietary reasoning model that we call SAGE. And we've done this for a fraction of the cost and energy consumption of large language models. SAGE is empathetic. She's also a long discourse language model tracking context over multiple conversations for long-term interaction. And she has a hyper-personalized memory, building deep one-to-one relationships over time.
And don't forget, Sage is not a wrapper built on top of a large language model. I know one AI starts to look like every other one, but this one is different.
Exactly. So our market opportunity is built on existing spend in strategic consulting, executive coaching, corporate wellness, and leadership and soft skills training. And our SOM is just 1% of our addressable market. We're a B2B SaaS platform targeting medium and large enterprise. Companies can put an empathetic on-demand coach in every employee's hand for less than $350 per year. We're also in advanced discussions with a large management consulting firm, just over 12,000 employees worldwide, that are interested in piloting with us. Our growth is based on the number of companies acquired each year. In 28 and 29, growth is expedited as more Fortune 1000 and Fortune 500 companies come on board. The competitive landscape is evolving. Traditional HR solutions and AI component tools dominate the lower quadrants, while traditional systems-based solutions occupy the upper left. Parsley's human-centered design built on a proprietary foundational AI platform sets us apart. Parsley is backed by an experienced leadership team with deep expertise in AI, organizational performance, finance, and business operations. Between us, we have multiple patents and exits. We're also fortunate to have a seasoned and impressive board of directors and advisors. We're raising a pre-seed round of $900,000 to finalize our core product, complete our beta, and launch our initial pilot programs.
We invite you to join us in transforming the future of work with emotionally intelligent AI.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, let's go to our next presenter. Our next startup is Soul Integrated Athletics, revolutionizing athlete emotional well-being to power performance. Founded in 2024 from Dover, United States, sports industry pre-seed stage Score of 671, grade B+. Douglas White, founder and CEO, will be presenting.
Hello, my name is Douglas White, and I'm the CEO and founder of Soul Integrated Athletics. We are revolutionizing athlete emotional well-being to power performance. My background is that I have 17 years of experience as a professional pitching coach. A handful of those were as the pitching director for the Houston Astros, where I created pitching development systems. There's a problem in professional athletes right now because the infrastructure is not in place to support these athletes. So you see mental health issues and challenges growing every day with these athletes. And then because of that, you're seeing these organizations lose money. The solution is that we've created a digital platform to integrate emotional well-being with performance so athletes can have access to the emotional well-being education and tools they need, but also the performance data that they need to thrive. Our product integrates, like I said, the emotional well-being and the performance side of their career. But the most important thing we do here on this app is that we're able to centralize communication so that the entire organization can communicate through this platform. The coaches, the athletes, the front office, all work through the platform. The market opportunity is great because of the amount of athletes we have on our planet today. Professional sports aside, but we want to work from professional to college to high school down to youth sports. Right now, we're going to start with professional soccer because that is where our relationships lie currently. Our business model is B2B SaaS. We charge $50 per player per team. If you're an organization, you have many layers to your organization, not just the one team. So we have an opportunity to grow revenue just alone by having an organization purchase the platform. Financial projections, the biggest thing I want you guys to see and take a look at here is the blue color in our bar graph. As we get this engine running, we'll be able to stand alone with our own capital. We won't have to continue to ask for money to grow. Our go-to-market strategy is very straightforward. We have a partnership right now with Blue Crow Sports Group. They own 4 professional soccer organizations. We're going to do beta testing with one of those. That's what we're currently getting going right now. And the other 3 then we'll be creating revenue with once we get our beta test finished. We're going to collaborate with all sorts of partners in technology, sports psychologists, etc. But we really want to start with brand ambassadors, grabbing the athletes that are using the platform and having them talk about it in front of everybody, leveraging that social media these days. And the data that we get from the platform, from the athletes, from the organizations, will only help us grow. Our competition, yes, there's competition out there, but right now, this is our differentiator because we integrate emotional well-being with performance, where the competitors you see on the screen do one or the other. Our team is strong. We're pre-revenue, pre-seed, so we need to make sure that the team we have can make this vision go through. Jeff Luno is our strategic partner. He owns the 4 professional soccer teams with Blue Crow Sports Group. So we have an actual owner behind us, really behind our product, our platform. We have a science team ready to go. We have a CTO. And of course, you've already met myself. What we're asking for here is to create a revolution. So we need some support for that. $750K pre-seed for 12 months of runway, where you can see how we will disperse that investment. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Our next presenter is First Element Energy, who's developing flexible clean energy technology which integrates green hydrogen and clean power generation technologies. Company was founded in 2024 out of Australia. Energy industry, obviously, in pre-seed stage. Score is 615 and grade of B minus. Founder, Yun Tian, presenting.
Good day, everyone. My name is Yun Tian. I'm the founder of First Element Energy. Our mission is to eliminate power grid blackout risk during the energy transition. The problem we are targeting at is power grid reliability. Australia's clean energy transition reduces power grid reliability, which affects 99% of all Australian electricity users, including residential, commercial, and industry users. Australian Energy Market Operator, IEMO, forecast the 528 megawatt capacity deficit by 2028 for the wholesale electricity market in Western Australia. That affect 1.1 million business and households during the summer peak hours. Australia Energy Council also forecasted severe blackout by 2040 for the national electricity market during renewable drought, which affected 1 million businesses and households. So our innovative solution is flexible clean energy technology that is proven clean and dependable. The technology provides firm and dependable power generation for power grid reliability. It's proven and flexible, and we have a clear pathway to zero emissions. Like a pathway to zero emissions is considered a key factor that preventing new firm generation being built up in Australia in the last decade. So here is our product, integrated hydrogen natural gas flexible power plant. We use renewable electricity that otherwise curtailed to produce green hydrogen, store hydrogen on site, and generate electricity when needed. Our product is flexible in design, customized to electricity market conditions, and adaptive to any environmental regulation changes. We have operational flexibility from 30% to 100% hydrogen blending ratio. We could also provide low price, affordable green hydrogen as potential additional revenue. Our potential market include any electricity markets that incentivize capacity investment or have a high renewable energy ratio. TAM, considering electricity markets in the world, estimate to be $100 billion. SAM, our company's target market in Australia, estimate to be $2 billion. So, considering different power generation and energy storage technologies, Australian market estimate to be $1 billion. Our business model is B2G. IEMO is our customer. Major revenue comes from reserve capacity market, and additional revenue from real-time market and essential system service market. Our total revenue estimated to be $51.5 million for the first year, and we have estimated the internal rate of return 14% over project life. So this is revenue forecast for the first 5 years based on the wholesale electricity market data 2022-2023, including expansion from the 4th year. Our competitors can be categorized into 3 sub-sectors: green gas power producer and green hydrogen producer. Compared to battery and gas power producers, we are more environmental friendly. And compared to battery and green hydrogen producers, we have better economics. Our team is small but strong. We have a combined 45 years work experience in power industry and infrastructure. I'm the founder of the company. My business partner, Bonin Lee, is helping me on the product and project development. We are raising $1.5 million state round for the project development and land leasing. And thank you for your time. I'm keen to have further discussions with you and also happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to our next presenter. Screen. Our next startup is Yes Athletics, shoes and apparel for female athletics to help break down barriers and allow them to focus on winning. Founding in 2019 from Topeka, United States, sports industry pre-seed stage with a score of 590. Deborah North, founder and CEO, presenting.
Good morning, good afternoon. Let's imagine for a moment, all you men in the audience, that you wanted to try a sport, you were so excited about it. And you get into the sport, you go shopping for shoes and apparel, and come to find out the only shoes and apparel available are girls' shoes. And they don't fit right, and they're not the right color. Well, this has been happening to girls for years. Girls and women were given the opportunity to participate in sports in 1971. So for decades, these girls have been wearing boys' shoes and boys' apparel, especially in sports, non-traditional sports such as wrestling. That is until now. Hi, my name is Deb North, and I'm the CEO and founder of Yes Athletics. We identified that there's a gap in this $17 billion global market where girls were wearing boys' shoes. So we set out to solve this problem. What we found was that when girls are not wearing the proper shoes and apparel, their injury risk goes up, their performance goes down. And of course, if you don't feel good or look good or performing well, retention is going to decrease. You're going to quit the sport. So we found a solution. We designed a shoe that fits with the female body. It's built on a women's last, and it's created from the ground up, and it's to fit their unique needs. So what we found is injuries have gone down, women feel good, and retention has gone up. This is a sport that's growing 60% year over year. So we started with shoes, and since then we've launched 4 different styles. And then last year we launched an apparel line where we can fulfill orders for schools and clubs with women's cut singlets, and we also do men's cut singlets. So, but one thing that we really got lucky with, I guess, was that we had sports bras that were compliant with the National Federation of High Schools. And last year they made it a requirement that girls had to have a sports bra as part of their uniform. So this is a $17 billion worldwide market. Not only is it growing in the United States, but it's growing worldwide. And when I say combat sports, that includes everything from wrestling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, powerlifting, anything involved in a mat. So we are confident that we can capture 30% of that obtainable market by 2030. So currently, and each of these channels is producing revenue. We are B2C. We have an e-commerce store on Shopify. We're on Amazon, Walmart. As far as e-commerce, we're also on a couple of, one's called Epic Sports, right out of Wichita, as well as Dick's Sporting Goods has us on their e-commerce channel. So B2B, we are selling to clubs and schools across the nation. I think we shipped out orders to 10 states this year. And that's an area that we're looking to triple in revenue this year. So our go-to-market strategy has been, B2C. We've got a team of around 50 brand ambassadors spread out across the United States, very boots on the ground. They create content for us. They hand out stickers. B2B, we've gone to team dealer trade shows, National Wrestling Coaches Association, state body meetings to meet and network with those coaches and the decision makers. B2B2C, we've gone to trade shows and just in-person meetings. So we are confident, based on our current traction, and with your help and your investment, that we can be close to 20 million by 2030. We do have competitors. ASICS launched a shoe about 6 months after we did. That was for women, but we still remain the only company out there that is by women, for women, with a mission on women's sports and supporting these girls. Right now, my team consists of myself, our director of operations. We have a marketing manager, a social media manager. We have an account manager and customer service. But we have to grow this year because, like I said, we're looking for both our B2C as well as our B2B to triple. So that's going to require more account managers. I'd love to hire more salespeople. So definitely on a positive growth track. Having said that, I did surround myself with some really amazing advisory board members that included, they're designed to fulfill my knowledge gaps, which include, I've got folks from apparel, shoes. So we meet once a quarter to help solve any business problems, and they keep me on the right track. So I'm here today asking for $1 million pre-seed with a 20% discount. Our pre-money valuation right now is around $5 million. Most of this is going to be used, 90% of it's going to be used to fuel growth, whether it's buying the inventory for the increase in sales. And we need to identify some really high influence influencers, athletes. So we really want to expand our marketing and sales budget. So our plan is to complete this $1 million round here in 2025. That'll put our revenue about $1.3 million. Do a follow-on round in 2027. We're looking at getting into football shoes. So we want to support girls in all different types of non-traditional sports. This year we're going to launch a boys line called Power Athletics so that everyone is included. So again, our goal is to hit 20 million by 2030. So I appreciate your time today, and I'm open to any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you, Deb. Let's go on to our next presenter. Our next startup is Ronsoft. Ronsoft's Exchequer levels the playing field, offering SMEs advanced procurement tools and support to streamline operations and drive growth. Founded in 2018 out of Calgary, Canada, software industry in pre-seed stage, score of 631, grade B. Founder and CEO, Ator Tatna, presenting.
Imagine running a small business, always striving to compete with the big players. You're up against giants with deep pockets and sophisticated tools. What if I told you that there's a way to level that playing field, to cut costs and boost efficiency, just like large corporations do? That's exactly what we're here to do at Ronsoft. Good day. My name is Ator Tatna. I founded Ronsoft after 30 years experience in oil and gas industry and witnessing firsthand this SME challenge. SMEs have limited resources and are slower in adopting technology because of the cost and operations disruption associated with deploying new technology. Our solution is to offer an enterprise-level software, wrap a service around it, similar to what the likes of Halliburton and Schlumberger do in oil and gas industry, and then offer this combination as a fractional service to SMEs. Our product is called CrossChecker. It is a B2B SaaS procurement platform that can be deployed in as little as 1 week, as opposed to 12 to 18 months that is typical from ERP companies. The TAM is over $400 billion in US and Canada, from which the obtainable market is about $1.2 billion. Over the next 5 years, our goal is to attain ARR of $60 million, which will come from getting 2,200 clients out of a population of 34.5 million SMEs in US and Canada. Our business model is B2B SaaS combined with procurement service delivery, offered to small and medium enterprises with a procurement spend of between $5 million and $150 million per year. We also have a freemium package for all their suppliers and vendors. We expect to close the current year with sales of $250,000 in ARR. We deployed our sales plan in September of 2024. We have closed 1 contract and have 3 more awaiting signature. When analyzed, this represents $750,000 in ARR, and for 2025, we're aiming to add an additional $1 million in ARR. Q4 of 2024 is all about proving our business plan. In 2025, we will focus on sales-led growth and from 2026, we'll focus on scaling the business with product-led growth. Our ICP are small and medium enterprises in manufacturing, energy services, and renewable energy. We started selling within our network, and each sale so far is a multi-opportunity sale. That is a sale to a group of companies, or starting with one company within each of those groups. In 2025, we will add a marketing company and a business process outsourcing for top of funnel prospecting for us. The competitive landscape is built with the usual suspects. We differentiate by adding service delivery to our SaaS product and drawing on our strength and experience in oil and gas industry. Outside of our CTO, all the executives of Runcell come from oil and gas service industry, and each person has over 30 years experience in this space. Between the founders, we have invested over $750,000 of our own money and $250,000 investment from friends and family. We have secured one multi-opportunity sale and have 3 similar opportunities waiting to be signed. We are looking for strategic partners. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to finding partnership opportunities within your network.
So Accelerator was founded in 2024 out of Seoul, South Korea. Science and engineering company pre-seed stage, score 695, grade B+. Dominique Mohet, founder and CEO, presenting.
Hello, I am Dominique Moje, the founder and CEO of Accelerator, where we design hybrid electric aircraft for disaster relief missions. For the past few decades, millions of people have perished in the wake of natural disasters, which are estimated to increase in frequency and destruction by rates of 120% each year henceforth. Many of these people are losing their lives because they can't be found due to being hidden under destroyed buildings, leading to rescue missions that are injured out and eventually resulting in a mission to find dead bodies rather than survivors. Our solution to this devastating issue is a vehicle that can directly locate and rescue survivors in less than half the time of a normal rescue mission, which will in turn result in steep decreases in mortality rates post-disasters. This solution also cuts down costs and is not limited in use to just disaster relief missions. Our product is a hybrid electric aircraft called Blue, which will be able to replace most disaster relief vehicles. This aircraft can fit supplies and rescuers as well as 6 survivors and requires no runway or launch pad. To find survivors before it is too late, the aircraft is equipped with cameras and heat sensors so that it can locate hidden survivors. The aircraft also features patented technology, which allows the aircraft to vertically take off and land directly from the water surface without disturbing it. This is a key component for disasters featuring water hazards because rescue vehicles often cannot locate or get close to those who are lost in the flooded waters. The patent is granted in America and pending internationally and can be later adopted for tourism and private usage. Our market opportunity begins with the global annual disaster relief vehicle budget, which is currently $28 billion and growing by 5% annually. We then funnel that into the disaster relief market for helicopters, which we would be able to replace, which is $5.6 billion annually. Finally, our own projected annual revenue is $560 million with the beachhead market in the Americas, Southeast Asia, and the Pacific, where our technology would be easily adapted due to their climate. Within the first 5 years of revenue, we project total revenue of $2.7 billion. Our business model is B2G with the sales of our aircraft to governments and rescue organizations around the globe. Our estimated price per aircraft is $5.3 million, with the average fleet per disaster relief mission being 10 to 30 aircraft. These aircraft are estimated to have lifetime operating costs of $2 million. Prototyping is estimated to take around 3 years. Once the finalized aircraft is developed and approved, we expect to reach an annual revenue of over $1 billion by the 5th year of selling the aircraft around the globe. From the first year of revenue, we expect cash flow to be positive as we will begin acquiring LOIs about the development of the aircraft. This is not an electric aircraft. Upon entering the market, we must focus on getting LOIs by exhibiting at tech shows and government conventions for disaster relief around the globe, while also using print marketing for trade journals for government officials and agencies who oversee disaster relief funding. Then we will employ direct sales in our beachhead markets. In competition, Hazel Aero has the only hybrid electric aircraft which can vertically take off and land safely from the water surface. Most of our competitors are also not equipped to respond to disasters and cannot be adapted to responding to disasters or being used recreationally. It is usually one of the other competitors. We are also focusing on a B2G business model. Our C-level team comprises of experts with over 100 years of combined experience in business, the government, and we also have a technical advisor, Marcus Murbach, who has been a principal researcher at NASA Ames for decades. I'm a former published researcher in electric aircraft systems, as well as the sole owner of this patent. I also hold a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. We are currently raising $750,000 to afford us an 18-month runway on a safe note with a 20% discount and a $5 million post-money valuation cap. Most of this raise will go to developing our MVP and perfecting the patented technology so that we can showcase the technology around the globe and acquire our initial LOIs. Thank you for listening. If you have any further questions or would like to contact me, my information is listed on the screen.
And here we go. All right, folks, thank you so much. Thank you to our panelists, startups that presented, and all of our global audience that joined us today for the past 3 hours. If you're a corporate partner or investor interested in connecting with any of our presenters, please send us an email. Feel free to connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And we'll be delighted to make the introductions for you. For ecosystem partners looking to explore collaboration opportunities, as you can see, our partnership network continues to grow. We'll love to hear from you. And please reach out and we'll discuss how we can work together. Now, if you're a founder interested in joining our program, we encourage you to visit our website, submit an application. We receive a lot of applications, but we're always happy to connect and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you all again. And until the next time, I wish you all great success.